All opinions expressed by the Love of the Game pod are their opinions and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of SUV TV, its sponsors, or affiliates.
Hey, listen, I'm surprised that I can read that every single week. Hey, my Fern Creek High School education is not failing me, dog. I can read. This is Madre Allen, dog. We in the building. I want to shout out to everybody real quick. This has been so crazy in the last 3 weeks. I want to shout out to all our followers, our listeners in Texas. I want to shout out we have international listeners, dude.
Really?
Like, we banging.
That's good.
It's nuts, dog.
The come up is real.
Hey, man, the come up is real. All our international listeners, if you listen to us, man, I appreciate the love. Shout out to our boy Corey Harris over in China, getting it done. Reached out, brother. I still owe you a phone call. I got you, bro. So proud of you and everything that you're doing over there with the CBA and the China Basketball Organization. Brother just got a deal to go over there and actually train one of their pro teams. Corey been grinding it out in our backyard for a long time. So
we got a lot of history, Corey. We got a lot of history.
Hey, man, that's my guy, dog. You talking about one of the first guys that ever had his hands on DeJuan. It's still probably DeJuan's favorite trainer at this point is Corey Harris, man. Dude, out of anybody that I know that say he deserves an opportunity, that dude deserves an opportunity. You talking about somebody got it out the mud, man. So proud of that dude. Corey, keep doing your thing. Shout out to the Atlanta Tribe, all of their director, coaches, affiliates, man. Y'all been great supporters of the podcast, man. So appreciate y'all. Jamaica Kane, appreciate you, brother. Everything that you've been doing, watching us, man, rocking with us. Guys, we appreciate it. And that's for everybody that's been watching. So not just those guys, but I just want to shout out to everybody that's been listening. It's been crazy last week.
We just need you to tell a friend. Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell a friend, tell a friend. Real quick before we get into it, guys, are y'all adjusting? What's the craziest part of being on the show now? Like,
they come at Bryce. They come at Bryce.
Look, we're not going to talk about Bryce. Look.
Hey, man, he had the Super 64 account at McEachern on the radar account. He walked in. He said, "Man, it feels good, man. Everybody over here staring at me." And I looked at him.
It's different when you on TV. People see you walking in the gym.
Yeah.
I hit him with the. Yeah, I'm gonna give you a shout out next week.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you, man. This whole thing, like, even since doing the podcast from the very beginning, the whole thing has been crazy for me. I was at a lot of these events before we start doing the podcast. Like, I got pictures, showing Huff pictures of me and my son back in 2014, 2013 of being at Huff's games, watching him coach before I ever knew who he was. Yeah. But I was able to go to games and just watch basketball. So because I'm on TV, people don't think that I'm socially awkward. And then you meet me and you find out that I really am. Like, I'm just a aloof, kind of awkward dude. My bad, man. So
man, there's a guy that I know. I won't tell his name, but he goes to gyms and he tries to sit away from everybody because he wants to concentrate on the game.
That was me. Oh, yeah. That was me. I just wanted to watch. Like, I didn't start talking to people at basketball games until I bumped into Locke, and me and Locke started hanging out.
Because Locke gonna talk to everybody.
I would walk in the gym to coach a game and try to find the nearest exit so I can talk to anybody.
So I knew where, yeah.
Like, and it's not that I don't want to talk to people. It's just like after the game, you got stuff.
100%, 100%.
Like, okay,
yeah.
I don't want anybody to stop me on the way out. Let me find the door. It's different when you're in high school because you
right.
down on the ground floor, nobody can get down there, but. Hey, you, man, I'm like, I'm ducking it
parents
down, trying to get out.
Hey, man.
That corner.
Hey, that's why Norcross used to be my favorite facility, dog. Got a little back door. I'm taking that stairwell going downstairs. I'm out. Like,
and all them Gwinnett schools, they got the backside access.
And like you said, it wasn't like I don't want to talk to people, but I don't want to talk to people. Like my bad. But I appreciate the love. I just wanted everybody to know, man. I definitely appreciate it. If I see you out, man, definitely come holler at me. I'm working on it. I'm trying to get better. I'm working on me. We trying to get better. But until then, man, keep rocking with us. Man, a lot of stuff done happened the last couple weeks, man. We've been busy.
Man.
It's been busy. This past weekend, Huff had the coaching clinic, the Minority Coaches Association coaching clinic that we pubbed out. That was fantastic. Man, Huff, let's get into it, man. Let's go recap that event.
Man, what a great event. Just want to give thanks to NYO, Josh Bird, TSL for letting us use their facility to have on-court demonstrations there. head coach Alex Ireland from Dalton State, having his guys there be demonstrators, and it was everything we needed for coaches. And let me just say this: we all are busy as coaches. We all have lives, but we expect our kids to get better. They've got to expect us to get better. And by far, I mean, Mondre, you were there. By far, Friday was a day to get better. And it started off with the new head coach of Georgia State, Rob Lanier. And you can tell why Tennessee was that grind, grit, defensive team that had players, but you saw why they got it done last year. You saw why they got it done. I mean, he started off and gave us some defensive concepts. He also dropped some nuggets for us, man, that I just thought was just too good to let slip by and not give to the listeners and get everybody out there. You know, he was talking about defense, and a lot of times terminology is really big when we look at players trying to play at the next level. And he talked about being up the line, off the line, and up the gap. And you may have a different kind of term for that. Maybe it's you got to be on the nail, you got to be in the hole, whatever it is. But your kid has to know that if he wants to play at the next level. I mean, Bryce, you coaching AAU, guys that can't play defense can't get it done, can they?
Nah, I mean, and I mean, it's you know, in AAU sometimes you don't have that kind of time to teach that stuff. But even at the older age, you're expected to at least know the basic stuff. Like, you know, if you're 2 passes away, you need to be in help side. You know what I mean? Or are you taking charges? Are you talking on defense? They know that you don't have time to go over that stuff, but at least show signs that, you know what I mean, you're teachable. So, yeah, that's huge. I mean, we see that all the time. Like, that kid's motor is not high enough. Can't offer him. You know what I mean? So his hand's not in the passing lane. Small stuff like that, they're going to pick your game apart, especially when they're sitting right there and they're going to offer you a full scholarship. They're going to pick your game apart. So that stuff is all important.
Rob Lanier was one of those guys to me that just had absolute command of the entire gym.
That's what I was just about to say.
When he walked out. I mean, everything about him looks, you know, and I don't know him personally, right? This is my first interaction with him, period. First time I've ever seen him, first time I've ever met him or heard him speak, right? He had complete command during the time that he was out there on the floor. He was engaging. He was, you know, knowledgeable, in control the whole time. He just sounds like a high-major, high-level basketball coach. In your head, if you imagine what you think a high-level coach is supposed to be, when you see him and when you hear him speak, like, it lines up to me. Like, I was just blown away by that. And I was like, man, there's no way that these guys are going to fail under this guy. Like, he's got it together.
I mean, he just – what you just said was absolutely right. That was the thing I just thought, the command of the players who he had never worked with before, the command of the gym to make sure people understood where he was going, and he was just dropping nugget after nugget. You know, last week we had, you know, Dez and we had Mario on. They talked about if your trainer is not 2 calls away from somebody, then you may need to choose a different trainer.
Yeah.
Well, he gave us something else that goes back and made me think about training. And he said, are the kids relating to the drills?
Right.
Wow.
Right. That
speaks a
So
lot.
that's it. Oh, man.
Communication.
Yeah.
so
It
important.
spoke volumes when I heard it.
Yeah.
Communication. He was an amazing communicator. Like you said, and it wasn't how much he said, it was what he said and how he said it, right? Guys knew exactly how to get, you talking about drills at a camp, it's always hard when you get guys out there. It doesn't really depend on their skill level. It's hard to get guys that haven't done certain drills before, haven't done certain things before, to be able to get out there and execute and do those things immediately right there. And Rob was one of those guys that you can immediately tell, like, nah, he understood how to get his point across effectively and quickly without taking a lot of time to do it. And that's,
I mean, I've been to a lot of camps, and I'm not just saying it because I was a part of helping put it on, but every person gave us something on Friday. And what I'll leave you with Rob Lanier is when he talks about what they want to do at Georgia State, which is totally opposite of what Coach Hunter did, and there's no disrespect to Coach Hunter. You know, Coach Hunter, they were a zone team. And he said they're going to pressure, protect, and pursue. And, you know, shout out to SUV TV being there and showing some love and taping those segments. And obviously you can go to the website and order those segments or order the whole thing for a reasonable cost. But you got to get Rob in their segment. If you want to be better defensively, you got to get it.
Hey man, when he said we're a pressure team, we're not a pressing team.
Spoke volumes.
Oh man, yeah, and then demonstrated that exactly what he meant and how he built that out. How you build that out every single day in practice. Georgia Man Up will benefit from that. We will be using those drills to build over the summer. It was amazing.
And then, probably the hottest man in Georgia right now, him and his staff.
Yes, sir.
Amir Abdul-Rahim.
Oh, yeah.
He's next.
He's on fire.
I mean,
he's on fire.
What he's done so far at Kennesaw State in this city to revitalize the people for knowing who the Owls are in this city.
For sure.
Yeah.
Has taken the city by storm. And he showed just why on Friday with what he did with early energy and practice and shooting drills. I thought I was the king of having shooting drills. I was like, I got every shooting drill in the world. Nope. That 90 and 4.
Hey, that was
90
crazy.
and 4.
That was crazy.
I picked me up another one. Like, that was great. That 90 and 4 was something that I definitely am going to use in my program. And then Amir said something, we talked about what Dez and Mario said last week, and then we talked about what Rob Lanier said about all your kids relating to drills. But then Amir said, get excited about being bored with repetition in basketball.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to do the flashy stuff.
So that's important.
Yep.
Yeah.
What about the boring stuff that's gonna get you better?
Every day.
Well, that's the social. that's part of the social media age we're kind of in too, and like even with Kobe, I know I would watch videos of Kobe Bryant. He was like, I would master the same stuff, and I would do this stuff over and over,
yeah.
and over, whether it's my left hand or my right hand or the mid range, whatever it was, I would do that stuff over and over again. But in this day and age, we see people that are, it is what it is. They're trying to make money. Let's just be honest.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they doing different stuff.
Make it
but
look good.
Then when you play in a game,
Doesn't
work.
translate.
Does not translate.
And you don't have that kind of time. You got to make a move.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's very valid.
That one thing that stuck with me about Amir was like, you're gonna go further with players that love you than you will with players that are afraid of you. And to me, I could immediately see why through the stories that he told and just Amir being Amir, why his players will run through a brick wall for him. Because to me, I had one of my OGs tell me that, hey man, you ain't never gonna be able to coach a kid until that kid knows that you care about them. If they don't think that you care about them, it don't matter how good of a coach you are, they ain't gonna buy in. It kind of shows me why that people would buy into what he's doing. When he said you got to come in and touch every player in the gym,
Man, that was huge. Some people may have glossed over that.
Yeah.
But I just remember Steve Kerr and Steve Nash talked about how many touches could they just, have with their teammates.
yeah, for sure.
People don't realize how important that is. Amir has done a guy who's from where we're from. Excuse me.
100%.
From where we're from.
From where y'all from?
I've seen his grind. From high school to college to the coaching realm. Grinding his way all the way up, and he's been that same dude, like the same dude when he was at College of Charleston. As an assistant coach, was the same dude he was at Texas A&M, the same dude he was at UGA, the same dude he is now as a head coach.
Yep.
Not afraid to not sit down and have a conversation with you. Not afraid to respond to your texts. Yeah, I'm calling some coaches out.
Hey,
Okay.
Okay. You
Okay.
do something about that, though.
Yeah. Okay.
If they don't respond to your text message, you know what you do.
We all know what we do.
Hey,
Hey, lock
you
'em
gonna
out.
Call me back next time. I'm leaving you on red.
You got that player, yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna leave you on red.
No doubt.
Got to do that.
And then, part of what we've got to do is we've got to grow this girls basketball, this women's game.
Yes.
And that was one of the main reasons we wanted the new head coach of Georgia Tech women's to be there, Nell Fortner. And you could tell right away she commanded the room as well.
Ooh.
Her knowledge with USA basketball, being a high-level coach, at high majors on the women's side, and you could also tell she had been on TV for about 5 years.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
she knew how to command that room.
I am stealing everything from her entire segment. That secondary break, all the actions that she was running, that beautiful backside action coming off that pick and roll,
you gonna get that.
I'm stealing all of that, bro. Like, that's all going in the bag. Like, that, she is, you could tell, a walking basketball encyclopedia when it comes to being able to draw them up and run different stuff, man. That was amazing to me.
And, you know, she was one of those ones that talked about how much she enjoyed being there for people who are trying to motivate and learn this game and get better.
Yeah.
You know, again, coaches, we got to do a better job, man. We just have to do a better job. There's too many things that go on in our city for us not to support it. And I'm not just talking about stuff I'm running. I'm talking about everything that goes on that's in our city, from camps for our kids to clinics for us as coaches to get better. We've got to do a better job of getting out. Tell the wife, tell the girlfriend, tell whoever, hey, listen, I need a day off today. I gotta do it. Football coaches get a day off all the time to go do professional development. And we made excuses of why we can't do it.
We I ain't gonna point the finger back. I ain't got nothing to do with that because I don't work in that environment, so I'm not gonna be the one to say it. But we understand. Yes, basketball coaches should get professional development days. That should be happening. And I'm gonna simplify it this way too. We all know and understand who is running quality events that are going to be worth your time. Yeah. We have been talking about those same people and those same events on this show for the last 2 years.
Yep, we have.
The reason why people, y'all talk about the same guys all the time. These are the guys that are running great events. They may not be the only guys. Shout out to CB. Shout out to Corey Black.
Yeah.
They might not be the only guys that are running events, but the events that you can trust, high quality events that's going to be beneficial for kids, parents, and coaches. We're calling them out on this show all the time, every week.
And like I said, it's not that I don't claim to know everything. I have so much I need to learn about this game of basketball every day, and that's why I still go to clinics. Can I pick up one thing? Like I said, I thought I had every shooting drill in the book. And I picked something up from her with that new shooting drill. And like, you know, Coach Fortin, that transition stuff she was doing was just great. You know, and then next at our clinic, we had to sit down and listen. We always talk about the Division I coaches. But to sit down and listen from 3 coaches, one at the D2 level, Clayton State, one at the NAIA level, Dalton State, and one at the JUCO level, Rico Dawson. And listen to how about their thoughts on recruiting, their thoughts on changing culture. All that stuff mattered. And Alex dropped a bomb on us when he said, winning games is great, but helping kids is better.
Say that one more time.
Winning games is great, but helping kids is better.
Hey, high school coaches, that's a shot at you. That's a shot at you. That's a shot at you because AAU coaches that are in the 8th grade and below, 9th grade and below, where there are no real offers being given. That's a shot at you, bruh.
Yep.
That's a shot at you. Nobody cares how many games your 5th grade team won. Let me be the first one here to tell you. It doesn't matter.
You hear that, Bryce?
It means
I learned that lesson. I learned that lesson.
You hear that, Bryce?
Fam, look.
I'm guilty. I'm guilty.
It means absolutely, positively nothing. All them trophies, dog, mean
I got a whole bunch.
zero.
But it's not even just that. It gets up to, in 5 more years, let's say I never win another state championship. Nobody's going to remember I won a state championship.
For sure.
So what's going to matter are the kids that I had the privilege to coach. What kind of kids did they become? And are they still coming back to have relationships with me and the school, whatever school they were at?
Hey, dog, I'm going to tell you what matters, Coach. When people say Kobe Simmons, when people say Adam Flagler, when people say Kaiser Gates, when people say Malik Beasley, all of those names matter. And that carries on way farther than any state championship. I may not even be able to recall the year that y'all won a state championship, but I can recall all the players that you helped and trust. Like, I seen what you was trying to do for Devin Evans.
Shout out to Devin Evans, sleeper gang, picking up those offers. You know,
a real basketball player, by the way.
That
a lot of people slept on.
Slept on at JUCO, and now picking up those offers he definitely deserves. But it's just, we've got to grind out here, coaches. We've got to understand that it's not about us. And it's not about me. Don't sit here and think just because I'm on this podcast, I try to be at events that it's about me. You know, we've got to block out the noise of what people think and just do it for the kids. And that's what that statement from Alex said. But I hope the people in the building and the people that want to buy this, the segment or buy the whole thing from SUV TV get to understand, you know, Rico Dawson's at a JUCO and has been to Hutch the last 2 years.
Last 2 years.
Been 3
man.
times.
Yep.
Hell,
You know, and
big
his
time
philosophy,
Division I players,
yes,
too.
and his philosophy is totally different than some. Like,
Oh, yeah.
he dropped the bomb and said, "I don't like shooters. I want people who can get to the cup."
Yep.
Which is totally different
Yep.
than my mindset.
He like
has
people
ever
to
been.
handle the ball,
That-
too.
But that's him, and he's won
Yeah.
with it. But
Yep.
now you understand where his mind
You
is coming
understand
from.
why he's coming from.
Right.
that.
Yeah.
Are you understanding why Coach Ireland at Dalton State says, I've got to live with transfers? I'm at an NAI. None of your high school kids right now in your gym say, yes, I want to go to Dalton State. I want to be an NAIA player.
You exactly
But
right.
2
Yep.
years down the road, 3 years down the road, that's the option for him. He has a kid from Georgia,
Kevon Tucker.
Kevon Tucker, that was
Yep.
at East
East
Tennessee,
Tennessee.
that was at Wofford.
Wofford, yep.
You know, that everybody was in the gym looking at.
Yep.
Yep.
But to continue where he wants to go right now, he's at Dalton State.
And he's happy, too.
And he's- yes.
Yeah, I talked to him yesterday.
Yep.
He's happy.
That's what it's all about, man.
And then, you know, when you can close it out with Yashir Roseman, you know, former D1 college coach at Alabama and Georgia,
Hey, man.
those player development drills, man.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
Boy.
He got some stuff,
And what he gave us, too,
Hey.
he gave us a special guest.
Hey,
And Nick, you know,
Look,
who
man.
we all know how Nick helped Colin. So, you know, having both of them on the floor together with those player development drills, oh, man, Friday was great for me, man. I don't know. It left me with a great taste. It left me reinvigorated, re-energized about getting back in the gym, even with my guys on Monday, and definitely during the season to get them better.
Back at it.
100%. Speaking with Yasir outside of the clinic and off the floor too, man. Just an amazingly humble dude.
Yeah.
Knows who he is. Is not, you know what I mean? Like you see a lot of people who ain't necessarily comfortable in their own skin. He's definitely comfortable with who he is and what he's done. Like, I would have never even thought that he had a hand in all the players that he had. Like, you go all the way back to Aaron Brooks, you know what I'm saying, at Oregon. Like, that dude is a wealth of knowledge and information. man.
Another
It's crazy.
dude that grew up
Yeah.
where
hey,
we
man.
grew up from.
Yeah, where y'all. Hey, another dude that's from where y'all from.
Yeah.
Hey,
Douglas
look,
High School.
look, man. Hey, look. I have lived in Georgia longer than I lived in Kentucky, but I'm not from here. But,
And we want to thank all those people that came out. You know, we had a plethora of women's coaches, which I was extremely proud of. And we want more women's coaches to come out. This is not a boys only club. Like, come out.
hey, I'm gonna say this, and I was happy to see it because, hey, don't wait for us to acknowledge you. Go get yours.
Yeah.
Go do what you got to do. Right, and if you grind long enough, that acknowledgement is gonna come and happen. I'm not saying that they need that from any of us, but we should acknowledge the women games more. But I was happy to see that we had women's coaches out there in full effect,
Yeah.
taking notes, doing their thing, and getting better and grinding and taking the game serious. And that's what it's about.
I mean, we had coaches from Toombs County. So when you make an excuse of why you can't get there, a dude from Toombs County made it
100%.
up. We had OGs who've been in the game way longer than I have. Man, I want to get better. To me, you can't ask for anything else. So you know, only thing I can say is, yes, we try to do it twice a year. Yes, we try to make sure we do it where you can get front and center in front of college coaches. So now that the NCAA has opened up 2 live periods in the spring again,
Yes.
or if you didn't know, that means you're already behind the game.
Let's go.
We're gonna be having another one in the spring, just like we did last spring.
Yep.
But we packed out the hotel. We had to.
Oh,
they
yeah.
had to change
That thing
our room,
packed.
right? They had to.
Stay in the room in the back like a seat.
They had to change our room, so we expect to see you there. That date's gonna be dropping pretty soon. Just check the website www.mcaofgeorgia.com. Get your football coach involved. It's a football and basketball association right now. Get them involved. They do great things on the football side. We're trying to play. Georgia's a football state, supposedly. I think it's a basketball state, too, so we're trying to play catch-up.
100%, man. Got to make sure you come out and participate, and don't think that just because you're not a minority that you can't participate in that event.
And it doesn't matter if you're not a high school coach either.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
AAU, youth league, it doesn't matter.
Got to get there. Got to network. And we talk about events to get people better, fellas, man. A lot, Bryce, our Super 64 and Southern Hoops Report. Southern Hoops Report took place today.
Yeah, today.
Man,
I
you guys
just
was out
left
there.
there.
Locke was
What's
over there
going on?
working.
What's going on, big dog? What's it looking like, Locke?
It's looking good, man. He got about 100 kids out there, man. And what I like about the Southern Hoops Report, he gets kids across the entire state. Like when I go there, I always find a kid that I haven't seen, haven't heard about, and different things like that. He had some kids from Warner Robins. He had some kids I heard from Atlanta and different things. And like one of the top kids who me and you just discussed earlier, Jalen Jackson.
Yeah.
Douglas County, right?
This dude,
Douglas County, yeah.
man.
By way of Westlake. Yeah.
I seen him at Hoop Hustlers yesterday's camp. I seen him today. I seen him at the Super 64 camp. And I'm like, he's gonna have a breakout season. Like, next move, the best move. He made the best move going to Douglas County.
And that's a school we don't talk about a lot.
Douglas
No,
County
no.
is.
They got a real chance this year.
They got a good crop of 2021 players over there.
They are stacked.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how much a chance, but you know, I got a chance to see him at Siebel Camp. Obviously, saw him at during the summer at the Summer Explosion. But I'm hearing Franklin Bailey had just another great day today.
He did. I ain't seen too much of him, but I did see little flashes because I'm looking at two different courts. I'm basically going back and forth. But another kid that I seen today, he just transferred to Shiloh, Zaldi.
Breaking news. Man,
Are we gonna talk about this? Are we gonna talk about the transfer stuff now, or are we gonna wait?
we can get into it a little bit. I mean,
You know, man, shout out to South Gwinnett, man. I know
my boy Quadri
yeah.
Howard, man.
Yeah.
That's my guy. I hate it for him. I don't think it's any. I can't say I know, but I don't think it's anything he's doing.
No, I don't think he's doing it.
Parents are gonna always choose what's best
Yeah.
for their kid, whether they're right or wrong.
Parents gonna parent, man.
There you go. Parents gonna parent.
Hey, so wait. So I'm gonna ask this question again. Are we really gonna talk about the transfer stuff now or no?
Well, I'm talking about the players
Yeah,
that
let's
left.
finish with the players first.
Yeah, like you say,
Okay.
Hey, I'm just trying to
Man,
see
well,
how far we going into it.
these two kids transferred, but they showed out at the Super 64. Bryce, you've been watching them for a minute. Max and Turtle, they transferred to Wheeler High School. They play for Game Elite. Those guys there, like, I always liked them, but they really, like, I expect them to have a big season up there with 7-8
So let's
with
tell
Wheeler.
people from Texas and all these other players about these guys, man. Who? Because there's some coach out there is like, hey, who's Turtle? Like who?
And they were all.
What's Turtle's real name?
I always forget, man. Hold on.
Jaheim Hudson.
Yeah, Jaheim Hudson.
Yeah, he had a good showing.
Yeah, he had a good showing.
6'6".
And all these kids, Zadi and Max and Turtle, they were all at South Gwinnett. I mean,
Yeah.
I liked. There was this kid that.
Look tough in June.
There was a kid that. I think it was a McEachern. Never heard of him. Never seen him really.
Bouncy hair, light skin, can
Light
jump.
skin.
Yeah.
I think his name is. And forgive me if I say it right. Jens Ruckert.
I know exactly. I know who
He
you're
was
talking
like
about.
6'4", but he was like
Bouncy,
bouncy, long,
super bouncy.
catching lobs. If I'm a college coach or anybody, I'm going to find him.
Yeah.
And I don't know who he plays AAU for. I don't know what he does. But I saw him. I was like, whoa, I like him. I mean, he was catching half-court lobs.
Hey, well, who's more athletic, him or Morris Ellis from Monroe?
It's a different kind of athleticism because the kid from Monroe, he's like well put together. Like he's stronger, he's more powerful.
I think he's the most athletic kid in the
But
state.
then you talk about the kid that we're the Jens kid. You know, we talk about him.
Yeah.
He can like guard people on the perimeter too.
most athletic kid in the state.
And
Morris?
I know
that video
I know where Huff is going. Don't go there yet, Huff.
Oh,
Don't go
man.
there yet,
Oh,
Huff. We're
God.
gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Don't go there yet. Don't go there yet. Don't go there yet. Okay.
The kid from Monroe was probably top 5.
He's
athletic
top
kid.
5.
if not top 3.
So I've got a question because I made this statement this weekend. I think you want your big. You don't at a level you probably don't want a under the rim big.
No,
So you
not
want an
no.
athletic big.
Well,
But how much does athleticism play if you're on 1 or 2? When we've all watched college basketball and so many of these dudes can't shoot.
True.
Like, let's take a look. Bubba Parnham just got eligible for Georgia Tech.
Yeah, seen
Who
that.
came from Brookwood. Not gonna go up and wow you with that athleticism. Shout out to Daniel Bowles, who is always everywhere. Goes to VMI, blows up, moves up. But we know what that kid can do. And it wasn't just Georgia Tech. He could have went a lot of other places.
Yep.
So what are we? Yes, it's good to have athleticism, but we got to have more than just that, especially at the guard wing position.
Hey, look,
Okay,
man. Look, Chris
that's true.
Youngblood is going to Kennesaw State, man.
Yeah.
That's all.
And that dude can hoop. But
That's fair, but like you're talking about big man, and you know, traditionally, high school coaches would just throw him under the
Under the post,
in
in
the
regardless,
post and say,
yeah.
well, I got a 6'7" kid, I'm gonna put him down there.
Times have changed.
Times have changed, and as a coach, you have to be able to adjust your system. That goes back to going to coaching clinics. That goes back to changing things up because, you know, like Terrell Ard, for example, he played like the 4, and then but if you move him to the 3 and work on his skill set a little bit, he becomes a different player. You know what I mean? So, and then maybe you have to change your offense a little bit here and there, but a lot of people don't like doing that.
I got a question for you, Bryce.
People are
On
so
that-
stuck in their ways; they don't want to change.
On that same topic, is that the reason that Jabari Smith is not a superstar right now?
Because
In
he
your-
won't
in
go
your
in the
Sandy
post.
Because he's not more.
What do you mean he's not superstar? Why you say he's not superstar?
I think he should be.
He
Like,
was USA basketball, right?
Yeah, he's
USA basketball, but I'm talking. He's not like a household name.
He should
And he
be.
should be. I'm saying that he should.
only
be.
reason I probably
I'm
say
saying
that
he
because
doesn't- like, I
his
even
game is
look
not
at-
flashy.
I
His
even-
game is not
It's not
flashy.
flashy. So it's like
He doesn't
I watch
quite
him, but I'm
have-
not gonna pay to go see him.
He doesn't quite. He may not have the machine behind him that. I mean, you don't see cameras following him, which I'm cool with. But like, you don't see cameras following him all the time. You know what I mean? Like,
He's a bucket though, right?
oh, he's
he's
cold.
not flashy.
That's all I was asking. Is a kid that is what 6'8", 6'9",
Yeah.
6'9", maybe above, getting closer to above, but shoot the ball, can put on the floor.
No, he
I
can
mean,
do a lot.
Why
Yeah.
is he not like? We don't even talk about him as much as we should on this show.
I just think because first, he doesn't attend camps, so
Right.
He played on the shoe
When you're on
circuit.
that level, sometimes you're selective about what you do.
Yeah, so he doesn't attend. Think about it, like he doesn't have to attend camps.
Like, he didn't even do the top 100 game.
Yeah,
Right.
he showed up,
He showed up, but he
but
didn't.
it's like for what? Like shit, I wouldn't play.
But I
I mean, they're playing so much basketball.
He just
too.
came back from USA.
But I also
But I'm
think
also saying, look, like, okay, so I was at your event last year, Huff, at the Big South Shootout, right?
Yep.
Jabari Smith walks in with Sandy Creek with what's my
Kid
man?
that's going to Drexel.
The kid,
Bickerstaff.
Bickerstaff,
Bickerstaff,
with the
yeah.
Bickerstaff kid. And we all understand and know how packed out Atlanta basketball crowds get. Like anybody that was at McKeitron, daggone Holy Spirit last year, like you talking about Westlake, Sandy Creek, right? Wasn't packed out to come and see him, and I don't understand why.
It wasn't.
Because
It's
again,
not flashy.
It's not flashy.
It's not exciting.
Like when we had Colin and we had Truman, we had all those dudes. Cameras were literally like in the gym
Yeah,
waiting
they were
for
like
us to
rock
show
stars.
up.
They was rock stars, yeah.
And he may not be that kind of kid. He may not want that attention, which
Well,
I don't blame.
I don't
him.
even
Man,
think
his
it-
game
I don't-
is like that to
I don't
me.
even think it. I think you got to go to the fact of our listeners. If we say where is Sandy Creek, they would have no idea.
Yeah.
South side.
I mean, not just South. That was
Yeah,
That's
it's
further
South.
south.
For Ed County. It's deep.
Tyrone, Georgia. They have no idea what we're talking about.
Oh yeah.
It's
That's
outside
it's
of
out there.
285.
Yeah.
Anybody
True.
seen their schedule this year?
No.
I mean, they playing in some events.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure because one
Knowing
of they.
John Michael Nickerson, they playing in some events.
Yeah.
And he's got a. Jabari has a coach who's coached at the college level.
Right.
They've been to the Final Four. I know, Mondre, you want them to get a little bit further than that.
I do. I picked them to win last year, man. I picked them to win it last
The
year.
kid, Deshaun Proctor.
John Proctor goes there,
yeah.
who's an athlete out
got-
this world.
Man, but come on, last year they had a super squad. Like, I mean, they got so much talent.
Hey man.
Like college
Hey man.
coaches
Hey
should
man.
be in
Hey
their
man.
gym.
Super squad don't mean nothing, man.
It doesn't.
Hey,
I mean,
man.
We
Hey,
so down a
yeah,
list of super
yeah.
squads that don't win.
Yeah, super squad
So,
don't mean
but
nothing.
no, like I guess here's what I'm saying. I'm talking about from a quality standpoint of player up and down the roster, talent up and down the roster, right? I mean,
He should be a player that people in Atlanta,
Are
not just
flocking
Atlanta,
to go
people
see.
in Georgia, around surrounding
Flocking
states,
to
should be
go
coming to
see.
see him. Just like, I'm not gonna put him in Sharif's category, but
are they a city
But
opposed team?
those are rock star kids. Like you gotta
Next year.
have.
They should be though, right?
Next
Am
year,
wrong
I don't
in that?
think
are people flocking
next
to go
year.
see Matthew Cleveland?
They
No.
probably will be soon.
I think
I don't-
I think after this season
Why
they're
aren't
gonna
people?
be.
Why aren't people flocking to go see DeJuan Odom?
I think people are gonna flock to go see Matthew Cleveland after this season.
But man, we got so many dudes here that we talk about. Why aren't people going to flock to see this dude?
It
Why are they going to flock to
it
see
takes
this dude?
time for. It
I don't
takes
think
time.
it's just time. I just think it's so much. We're saturated with.
It's
so much.
saturated, yeah. I think.
Yes and no, but it takes time for a kid to fill that role too. Like, okay, like it's his time, and the kid even knows mentally, like, yeah, I'm about to blow up. I'm about to put. You got it, like Colin. He knew, like, y'all coming to see me, and it is what it is.
And he put on the show.
Like
But
Matthew Cleveland, I saw
but-
him in
but I
Super
think
64.
I think those
A
are-
kid has to know that too. Like, yeah, it's my
Bryce,
time.
But
I'm about
Bryce,
to
I
blow
think
up.
I think those are rare finds.
Yeah, they're rare. Yeah.
But what about these other dudes who are good? Like,
Good.
I mean, like,
I feel like-
all these people that we can talk about that we have seen. Take away the Jalen Browns and the Colin Sextons who had the people that just start following them. Like, there's so many other dudes that are here
It's a ton of dudes.
that we should be like. Why aren't people flocking to see Walker Kessler?
But Huff,
Because
but
That's
it's
a
not-
7-foot
but
unicorn.
think it
But
is though.
Huff, we know. Come on, we all know the events that you got to go play in if you want to be that man. And maybe I missed it, but I didn't see Sandy Creek on the TOC event list. I didn't see. I don't think I
But
saw
it
them
ain't
in that
just a
bracket.
but,
I don't think. Are they in Hoops Giving? Maybe they are. Maybe
They're
I
in
don't
Hoops
know.
Giving.
Okay.
They're in Hoops
They
Giving.
need to play there. They need to be in Sean's event. They need to be in the McKeesha
But Sean
tip-off.
can't. But Sean's thing is a one-day thing. So
It's
how
one-day
many?
thing, yeah.
How many teams
Teams,
can you
yeah.
get in it?
I mean, but you're Sandy Creek. You got maybe arguably
Yeah.
a top 5 player
USA
in the state.
basketball
Like,
kid, you should
Yeah.
be able to get in
Man, come
anything you
on.
want to get into.
There's no event here in the city
But
that they
there's
can't
other
get
people
in,
who
right?
got.
Who? Okay, how many teams can say they have a better player than Jabari Smith right now?
Not me.
How many teams can say they had a better player than Jabari Smith last year? Or maybe I'm just on that track.
No. Last year there was kids better than
It was
Jabari.
kids better than
there was
Jabari.
I'm not
kids.
saying nobody. I'm saying like how many? Could you
And
get 10 teams?
this goes back to my point.
Could you get
this
10
goes
teams
back,
to
this
say
goes
they
back to
were
my
better than
point. Every kid who's like him or Matthew Cleveland, whoever, they have their time, and their time comes. His time is about to come where he could.
Because he's just a junior.
Just a junior,
Okay,
yeah.
maybe I'm rushing it.
So,
Jabari, I'm rushing it, my
we
bad.
saw him last year as a whatever 6'8", 6'9", whatever he is, talented kid.
Knocking down corner
But
threes.
we
going to the
also
hole
saw Chase Hunter. We also saw all these other talented
Yeah,
kids in
true.
the state. So it wasn't necessarily his time yet to where you say, okay, well, Sharif Cooper and Isaac Okoro, we had all these dudes.
Yeah, you still
last
had
year.
Ant-Man.
So
Ant-Man.
So basically, what we saying.
So his time hasn't necessarily come.
Basically, what we saying goes back to what we've said from day one. We have so much talent here.
It's crazy.
So much talent. Like,
I think.
I know we're gonna talk about
Yeah.
it later, but there's a reason why all these college coaches are coming down here.
Oh yeah.
Hey, let's get to it now. College coaches.
Hold on, man. Hold on. I got like 2-3 kids.
Hold on, we had some more.
Go ahead, go ahead, big dog. Go
Before we
ahead.
go into that, I think. Usually when I think, I tend to be right.
Yeah.
I think Blake Hadley
Blake had a good camp.
from Pebblebrook
Blake.
is going to be a problem.
I've heard
No.
that now.
Every day I hear like
I
a
keep
different
hearing that.
name
Blake.
from Pembroke that I haven't heard. Like,
He's been there.
He's been there.
I'm not saying like they're new. It's
They
like,
loaded, yeah.
all right, this week it's Caleb. Next week it's Tyler Shirley. Next
I
week
like
it's
this
Danny
kid.
Stowe.
They
have
Next
20
week it's Jamal.
They have
Price.
27.
This
Hey.
is gonna be-
They have 27 players that could play varsity in
got
some
an
other
NBA
school.
roster over there.
Yeah, he do.
This kid, I like him because I think you can throw him down low and he's gonna bang. But I think he has an option or the possibility of being able to step out too. And he can handle the ball. He plays hard. He runs the floor.
Got a big body too.
He's got a nice frame that most high schools don't have a kid like him.
No.
So, and I think he's going to be a problem coming up. I think he's going to be a problem. We already talked about Deshaun Proctor. I think the kid that just transferred to South Cobb, Iman Washington.
looked good.
He looked good at the camp. He's like a tweener, like a
3-4, yeah.
3-4.
As a person who coached college in Mississippi, how does he get out of Mississippi? I mean, I know parents move, but good, man.
I know them left hand bang out dunks he doing.
Yeah, he does it. I mean, yeah, he's
hitting the rim before
Yeah.
he dunk it.
Yeah, he's man.
Again,
he
that's,
look like-
that South Cobb Pembroke gang gonna have some juice.
He had a
Yeah,
dunk
it
on the
is.
film at Sean event that looked like he was about to do the Gerald Green blow out the cake dunk. When Gerald Green put that cupcake on the backboard and blew it out, then dunked it. Looked like he can do
Hey.
that, man. That's so crazy.
Y'all know this kid, my favorite. Robbie from
Oh, yeah.
Orange Burst.
Yeah.
Hey, and he just picked up a Georgia Tech offer.
This dude is awesome.
I know, right?
Somebody said he was.
Hey.
Go.
Hey.
Somebody just said he
else.
was a low major, mid major player. Is that what it is?
Just because we're not gonna.
That
talk
doesn't
about
mean he
who
should
said
go
it.
there.
No.
Doesn't mean
What the person said was, just because you get a high major offer doesn't make you a high major player.
True.
Correct.
But what he's done in high school,
Oh my God.
He has 2 more years.
he has 2 more years. And he's
more
been
years left.
productive.
I love his
He's
motor.
going to
I
be
love it.
unstoppable this year.
Yeah, I think he
And
is.
He's
next
a
year.
beast.
Yeah.
He's like, if I was playing, I would not want to guard him.
Yeah, because he's putting the ball on the
talking about
floor.
kid?
He's shooting threes
I
now.
told
A
you.
high school kid?
I told you who he reminded me of.
I don't want to guard him.
I told you he reminded me of the kid that used to be at Green Forest, Victor Inu.
That dude's
Yeah.
scary.
Who went to Memphis.
Robbie-
Yeah,
That's what he
yeah,
reminds me of.
yeah.
Hey,
That's good.
He come in there, he roll them shorts up.
Yeah.
They always rolled up.
Hey,
Always. I don't know how he stay up like that, though.
He coming.
They
He coming down the
always
court.
stay up.
He comes
know,
down the
bro.
court smiling
Hey.
like I'm about to
I'm
destroy
about
you.
to dunk on you.
I'm about to destroy you.
Hey,
he's scary.
Is Robbie better than Cam Bryant?
Oh, don't do that.
I'm just asking. I ain't trying to start
Hold
no
on.
shit. I'm just asking.
That's different classification, different years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cam Bryant's pretty.
Cam Bryant's a
pretty
little bit
good.
taller. Cam Bryant's about
Bryant's
6'6",
taller.
6'7".
6'7".
Robbie
Yeah.
about 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah.
But both of them
think Cam-
goons.
And that's why I asked that question.
Both of them
That's why I
goons.
asked that question.
I think.
We know Cam a goon. We seen him at.
Yeah, I think one hitter quitter has a little bit more. He has a little bit more skill set in his perimeter game. I think
Yeah.
Robbie's is gonna come along as he continues.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's-
yeah.
it's really coming.
It's coming. But I mean, they're different classifications.
Hold on, man. I'm mad that Bryce called, man, the one-hitter quitter. How you gonna make that his name, bro?
Oh man.
repeat that.
Here he go.
The next kid.
Here he go. Here he go.
We're sorry, man. We
Hey,
I like. We talked about Jalen Jackson. I like him. I like
I'm done.
RJ Norton played pretty well.
RJ Norton played well.
He shot the ball really well.
I'm always impressed with AJ White. Always
Oh, yeah.
because he plays with a chip on his shoulder. I feel like, whenever he walks in the gym, he's always trying to
come on,
prove
man.
something, and he's going to
he
play
is-
hard.
here's
He's going to give you buckets.
And we know that. Here's what, and I've told Mondre this to his son. AJ White's gonna give you buckets. Smaller guards at the next level, you got to be ready to take a pounding. So not only do you have to be ready, you better be able to guard
Yep.
because in case that shot doesn't fall,
Yeah.
most coaches, if you're small, are gonna try to pull you off the court.
Yeah,
True.
So you got to be able to shoot.
Yeah.
You got to have some toughness
Yeah.
to you with that chip on the shoulder, like you talked about,
Yeah.
and you got to be able to guard.
His
Like,
range is
you got to go
deep.
back to like J.J. Frazier, who was at Georgia.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
If AJ White wants to mentally think about somebody right now, he should
That'd
put
be the guy.
that name in his
Yeah.
mental notes right now. Or if he wants to go a little further back, Cy Nimley. I know he didn't go to a high major, but Cy Nimley, who went to Charleston Southern out of Collins Hill, go pull up some highlights of that dude in college.
Yeah.
Even in high school.
Could get it done. AJ White reminds me of a
can-
5'10" Kobe Bryant.
Can I drop one Georgia Kane?
Hey,
Here
drop
we
him.
go.
Hold on. Little section.
Drop him.
Oh yeah. My boy, young Colin Sexton, Javon Tucker, just transferred to McEachern. He's like 6'4" combo guard. He's probably about 190. He's
Transfer
solid.
to McEachern?
Yeah, he transferred to McEachern.
Sheesh.
But
Bryce,
he's.
you do know what trouble you put yourself in by saying he played for you and he transferred. I'm just kidding.
Oh, no, I had nothing to do. Listen, that's a good topic. All these people think I had something to do with these trends. I don't have nothing to do with that. I don't care where your child goes to school.
Hey, Bryce said, I'm going to let you pour your own trouble.
Look,
I'm going to let you pour your own trouble.
if a kid play on my AAU team, but he left your school and went to another school, I don't care, bro. Just go to school. Just get your education and
Right.
whatever. That has nothing to do with
Bryce
it.
said, I got something to do with the offer.
Hey,
What high school you go
that's
to?
all
I ain't got nothing to do with
You know-
the offer.
but y'all know what? You know how Bryce is telling the truth? Because Bryce does coach high school basketball, and they're
Right.
not coming to him.
No, they
And if he was really about that life, he'd be like, well, I know you should come.
Right.
Right.
Anyway,
Hey.
he's like 6'3" combo guard. He's got deep range. He can shoot the ball. Super athletic. If he has a good year, he should be straight. He should be straight. He played pretty well at Super.
What you think about Cole Middleton coming off that injury?
Got that name. You know who he reminds me of, and you guys may not like this, but like Charles Barkley, because he's kind of
No.
He is though.
He's not that
Man, you
athletic.
just disrespected Charles
He
Barkley.
is
man.
that
He's
athletic.
athletic, but he ain't moving like Charles. No.
Man,
Yes,
you
he
better go back
is.
to that
No.
Auburn Charles
No.
Barkley, man.
First of all, the kid's only a junior.
I don't care.
Second of all, he just came off injury.
I don't
he looking
care.
good,
The kid
but he ain't
dunks
look
I like
everything.
Cole, but-
He's swole. He's got to be like 215.
Charles Barkley wasn't swole.
Okay, give me another comparison then.
I can't give you
know,
one, but I
it
can't
ain't
say
Charles.
Charles. You should have said.
Okay.
You should have said Sean Kemp. No, not Sean
whoa,
Kemp.
whoa, whoa,
Larry Johnson. Larry Johnson.
Okay,
That's
Larry
the type-
Johnson.
Larry
What's the
Johnson.
difference? What's the
No,
He's
no.
had that bill.
Hey, Larry Johnson.
he's
Jerry
a
Johnson
man.
was the best player on the most dominant college basketball team of all
We're not.
time.
We're just comparing.
Well, I'm just like, right.
And he
I'm
did
not-
all
I'm
that
not
with a
saying-
gold
listen,
tooth in the
I'm
front
not
and a
saying-
part right here in the middle. Y'all,
I'm not saying the
come
kid is gonna be like the next Charles
Who you-
Barkley.
who you compare
I'm
his- who you
saying
compare
in
his game to?
comparison
I don't know, but
I'm saying in comparison to his size, his height, his strength, his athletic ability. I'm not saying the kid's gonna turn into Charles Barkley. I'm saying, okay, the tweener position, like he's not maybe not a legit 5, but he, you know what I mean? But he could play the 3, but he's that's what I meant. I don't mean
I got you. I'm with you.
he's Charles Barkley.
No, no, he's right. Hey,
I'm sorry, I just can't get
He
that.
can handle the
Charles
ball.
Barkley.
He can
I
shoot
didn't
the
mean to
range,
say
he can
Sean
dunk.
Kemp either.
Sean Kemp is worse than Charles Barkley.
I meant to
That
say
was
Larry
way worse.
Johnson.
As far as comparison goes. Anyway.
Hey, another kid, man, Keyshawn Thrash, from Ingles Landing, who I resigned to PC, the Presbyterian. Hey, man, they got a great pickup.
Hey,
that kid
was
can
a
go.
heck of a pickup.
Hey,
That was a heck of a
It came out of nowhere.
Yes, it was.
Like, I didn't hear anything about that.
Right before he committed, I was actually on SUV watching the Battle of Georgia and watching those guys play for the Battle of Georgia championship, and I was impressed with that kid. Out of all the guys, the bigger name guys that were in that game, he was the one that I walked away like, yo, he's getting it. He's
Hey.
the reason why they
And
win in
that-
this game.
That if we gon' man, we done brought up like 2 things that have brought us to different subjects.
Yeah.
We gotta talk about these commitments.
Oh, yeah.
Can I throw one more in
Yeah,
there?
yeah, yeah.
Or 2 more maybe. I like Madison Durr.
Madison's,
Hey, his game has.
I
His
like
shot-
Madison Durr.
I don't know.
His shot.
His
No, it
shot.
ain't just his shot. It's something
It's-
about
You know what
him
it
that-
is?
swagger.
He's
That's
been
right.
he's always had that swagger.
True.
But I think he's been in the weight room. And his upper body's bigger. His shot, he does have more confidence in his shot. He's going to be a really good mid-major, maybe
Yeah.
possibly high major. I really think a really
You
good
know what?
mid-major.
I'm gonna
He
tell you-
was just at Middle Tennessee on
Yeah,
unofficial.
this
so,
past week.
yeah.
He's another kid. You know, there are a lot of kids I always look at it and how competitive they are.
He competes.
Man, he competes. And
Yeah.
I always respect, not saying I don't respect all kids, but I'm going to hold him to a higher level of respect because of how much he competes. Like, that dude don't want to lose.
Nah.
I
He
don't
wants to
care
win.
what it is.
No, he don't.
When he
Yeah.
wants
Yeah.
to win, and when he steps on the floor, it's business,
At
and it's
Sean's
like,
camp,
yeah.
did
yeah.
you I think he was in
Yeah.
your drill when he
Yeah.
was, it was like 4 straight times. And,
Yeah,
and
he
he
was
was letting
cooking.
them know.
No doubt.
Like, who want this?
I mean, he was like triple threat, like
Yeah.
bang, knocking out a 3, bang, knocking out a 3. I'm like, oh, that's how you feeling now? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So you can see his game has evolved too. I mean, you can see he's clearly put in the work.
We got to keep it moving though, fellas. We got, as we know how deep Georgia basketball is.
It really
when
is.
it comes to these kids, man. We did, and being as in Bay, the reason why all of these college coaches are on campus. Let's talk about this for a second. Okay. This week, you saw a lot of tweets and Instagram posts and all this stuff about kids getting offers and about college coaches being on campus at high schools to watch kids, work out, or I don't know exactly what happens. Matter of fact, let's toss it up this week. This way, Bryce, Coach, walk us through what happens, how it happens, why it happens, why are college coaches on campus this week, and what is actually happening when they get on campus.
All right, so I'll kind of start it off. It's called the recruiting period. You have like 4 different periods: the dead period, evaluation period, recruiting period. So this is a recruiting period where college coaches at the D1 level can come out to a high school's players' campus, only on campus. Like, there are people who think, well, I can go to my trainer's gym and do, no, they can only come to the high school campus to watch that kid work out, open gym, whatever the case may be. Usually it goes back to what Bryce did this summer. If they weren't offered then,
That was a
name. That was a name they
Yeah.
had down and they followed.
Right.
Or somebody who has a scouting service saw them somewhere. One of the big things, we know the recruiting thing has changed. people talk about the Houston, the Houston event, and
Oh,
I think
yeah.
it was another one.
The
Yeah,
team
it
counts,
might not
yeah.
have been the best, but there were names that were written down by
Yeah.
people who said, I got to get back out to get to these places. And on the flip side of that, I think parents, you have to understand how hard it is for high school coaches at this time. Not to say can they work them out, but there are so many rules.
Yeah.
Number one, you got to deal with gym space.
Yeah,
So
gotta have gym.
if you in Georgia the past 2 weeks, we've been in the biggest heat wave you can ever talk about. So like last week,
not going outside.
they weren't even letting teams go outside. So now the football team got to be in the
Be in
gym.
the gym, yeah.
Still got volleyball going on.
Right.
What about cross country? So that could be impacting gym times where maybe your school couldn't find a way to get it in. It means schools got to go in morning times. It means they got to go late evenings, whatever the case may be. And then you have to deal with the Georgia High School Association rules. If that coach on the coaching staff is going to work somebody out, if it's not an open gym, it's got to be 4-1, 4 players to 1 coach.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be serious. You get out of school at 3 o'clock and you do 3 4-on-1 sessions for 40 minutes. You are probably about 6 o'clock almost. Right? Let's be real. So, and no matter what people say, they have their lists. No college coach is just going to randomly walk into a
To your
gym,
yeah.
and no players are there. The only way it may happen, I got a relationship with you, Mondre.
Yeah.
You may not have
Or,
nothing
I
for
mean,
you right now,
yeah.
but I'm going to come show you
Or if
some
your
love.
Show you some
school,
love,
if your
yeah.
school historically over
Yep.
years,
Produce players.
like 10, 15 years produces players, that's always going to be a stop for
Yep.
that coach. But for some newer programs, I've had parents call me like, well, how do we get people to come in our gym? I said, well, for one, it starts in the summertime sometimes, and they can circle your name, or camps, they can circle your name when they see you during live period, and then they follow up with you. So, parents have to understand that stuff too. It's like, we're not just going to, I'm a college, I'm not just going to get in a car and drive down there. I got, I have things to do.
You got a lot of
Just
stuff
like
to
you
make,
do.
yeah.
So,
help me understand this, folks. How much of it is this player is attracting college coaches to come see them regardless of what school they go to versus high school coaches making phone calls and saying, hey, come check us out, come be here, this is what time, this is our schedule, that type of thing.
It's a combination.
It's a combination of both, yeah.
I mean, if you got Matthew Cleveland, and I'm not saying this because it's Coach White.
Yeah.
You ain't got to make a call.
No.
if you
They come.
and maybe not even on his level, but I think like if you have 1 or 2 maybe low major or mid major guys,
Yeah.
they'll come. But you gotta have, you just gotta
You gotta
have
have
them.
that resume.
And then you got to understand this too. Like, so I've got Chance Moore and Garrison Powell, right? But you may have lower major schools with them,
Right.
and I have no chance at them.
Right.
So
Why would I
they're
come?
not coming.
They're not coming, yeah.
So in actuality, yes, people see oh man, Georgia, Florida, and all these people, maybe at Norcross and Pebblebrook and Holy Innocents and Pace and St. Francis and all this. But think about the Jackson Grecos who went into the summer with nothing,
Yeah.
who probably has a list of low major to mid major to D2 schools coming in the gym.
Yep.
Gwinnett County Schools did something great. They did a tour.
Yeah, that was great.
So to get a school who may not have anybody there, now they at least gonna get somebody to roll through. And I know you like Bryce. I don't know if that's gonna work, but
That's
now
like-
but there's no coach that can say
That's like a second place trophy.
You got to
I
try.
understand,
Third,
you gotta
fourth
try
place
something.
trophy.
You got to try
Like-
something.
I'm with you. You got to try.
I get it, but if it's my school and I just don't have those dudes, I just don't have them.
But then that's why.
So
but that goes
why
back-
do I have to be?
But that
Why are
goes
you
back
putting
to
me on a tour?
relationships
if I
in your
don't-
network.
So what are you
It
coming
goes
here
back
for?
to your relationship in your network where, okay, I may not have a Division I kid,
Yeah.
but I got a Division II kid. They can come out.
That's,
Yeah,
so
okay,
that's
yeah.
the next
Yeah.
question that I was going to ask. Of guys that don't have what we typically see posted is, and I wish this would change, and maybe
Most everybody.
maybe it would change. I don't know. Let me ask this question and see how smart or dumb that I may be. I normally see the high major, mid major, basically Division I guys getting posted saying, "Hey, thanks for coming by our program."
Yeah.
what are the rules for Division II and AI JUCOs of getting those guys on campus?
They could have been out before the
They can
Division
come.
One.
Yeah,
They come out. It just don't get
but
tweeted.
their timing is going to be different too because they're recruiting differently than let's say a division.
But
you know what I mean?
But to get those guys on campus, is that
You need to
No,
be posting it.
they are on
Emmanuel is out all the time.
Yeah.
They are. But like I say, a lot of high school coaches don't tweet that because it's not six.
They
It's not the
need to.
mid-range. They do, but they don't.
It shouldn't matter who's in your gym.
It doesn't matter if
To me,
they're
if
offering
I'm a
something.
parent
Yeah,
and I see,
yeah.
man, this school had 60 colleges in their gym. I'm not saying, man, only 30 of them were Division Ones.
No, you're
so
not.
if you got a certified D2 killer and you're not making those phone calls to get D2 schools out there to look at this kid,
Well,
but you know it's going to be successful at that level.
The thing is,
what
I think
happens?
if he a D2 killer, more than likely the coach gonna think he D1.
Right.
Yeah.
He's not gonna
They're not going to
think.
make.
He's
They're
not
gonna
gonna
make.
think
They're not going to call it
D2.
Division
You
Two.
gotta have every option.
Yeah, you do. You got to.
Yeah.
So then we got to go all this stuff that we've been talking about. This is episode 3 for our new
Reloaded.
subscribers,
Reloaded.
listeners. If you haven't been following us the 4 SUV TV,
If you didn't peep the previous 50 episodes, this is episode 3
This
on
episode
TV.
3 of
baby.
Reloaded on SUV
sure.
TV. But we've been talking about, so it matters when we talk about what camp did your son go to. Mm-hmm. So you went to a camp and nobody was there. So the person can't reach out to a college coach or SEBA is different than Super 64.
Yeah, most
It's
definitely.
gonna be totally different the type of kid. But guess what SEBA had? There were all those D2s, NAI,
JUCOs,
walking
yeah.
around. Shout out to Corey Baldwin. My guy driving all the way up from Waycross
Oh yeah.
to be at the SEBA camp. So he can find those diamonds in the rough. Him and I talked about finding those diamonds in the rough. He says it's so much tougher inside 285 finding those guys. You know why? Because it goes back to that D1, the one that says should be a D2 killer,
Yeah.
thinks they're a D1 dude.
Yeah, D1. Yeah.
And you're going to mess around, parents, maybe some coaches, and Corey Ball wants your kid now. And you give him the cold shoulder. And then you calling him back in April and May.
Yep.
He's done. He's found his class.
Hey, I'm gonna say this. I was talking to a high school coach, and we respectfully disagree with each other because he made the same statement that Bryce had. He was basically saying, "Oh, well, we don't have those players. Like, you gotta have players to get coaches to come, and we don't have players." And I said, "Well, you have one kid that I know people will come and see. You got one kid that I know people.
What
all
high
you
school
need
we
is
talking about?
Why?
What high school we talking about?
Yeah. Can we drop the name so we get more specific?
Hold on. Is it in Cobb County?
So, no, I'll say it. I don't have a problem with it. They've treated me great. I was
Oh,
at Marietta. They've been
okay.
great to me.
Yeah, they do got a
They've been
kid.
great to my son.
Travis.
I have no issue. But they have Travis Burris there, right? And we didn't have any college coaches there. And I just respectfully disagreed and said that, hey, I'll make calls, right? We got to make calls.
Here's the other thing.
Travis is good enough to have coaches
let's
come
like-
and look at
Go
him.
ahead,
Here's the
boy.
other thing, like the summer, and I'm not just advocating for summer basketball, but the summer basketball stuff is important because that's where the college coaches can sit right there and evaluate you right there and circle your name. So if you haven't necessarily played 17U or played that level where a lot of coaches are right there watching, because sometimes they don't watch the
16U.
younger
Yeah,
divisions.
they don't.
So that's another reason why they may not come to your high school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
You gotta do
he's an underclassman. He may not have played in front of that many college coaches. So
But
That's-
but
you know what I mean?
but
Like-
that's why I said it's twofold, Bryce. Yes, that matters. But then, as a high school coach, I know I
You gotta pick up
I
the
gotta
phone.
put in work.
Yeah, you gotta
I
put
had to
in
put
work.
in
Yeah.
work for
You have
Adam
to do.
Flagler to get those people out
Yeah.
there.
You
Because
gotta
he
put in
didn't
work.
play on the circuit. He didn't play on the shoe circuit.
you got to put in work.
Play for Atlanta All Stars.
You know, and he was getting all these. I was emailing, I was texting.
Yeah, you
I
was.
It didn't matter whether it was Sean, man. Listen, can you help me?
Yeah.
I'm emailing coaches. I'm sending film out.
You got to put in work.
You gotta put in work,
But I mean, that's
too.
either way. Either if you're an AU coach, if you're a high school coach, you're gonna have to put in work some way if you want to help the kid get to the next level. Like,
And here's the thing. Let's get down to the nitty gritty. Let's understand that I know coaches are out there saying, well, man, I got papers to grade. I got to teach all day. I got a wife at home. I got a baby at home, blah, blah, blah. I got to keep the gym open. This, that.
That's part of being a
Hey,
high school
look,
coach.
I understand that. Coming from, and these guys know what my work schedule looks like. Every time they call me or text me, Dre, what you doing? I'm at work.
Yeah, you be working like a Hebrew.
But
But then you can't complain if you're not willing to work.
And so, coming from somebody, again, right now we're taping this show. My son is playing Fall League for varsity, and I'm missing that.
Yeah.
Right? there are no excuses. At the end of the day, right? Me and my son, we have conversations. He's my best friend in the whole world, right? Like, we have conversations about either you're going to work and you're going to grind and go get it, and I have to compete against people who don't have children, who don't have a mortgage, right? I'm leaving the show. I'm going to cut grass after we get done. Like, either you're going to get it done and you're going to find a way to get it done, or you're not. And it's not always going to be fair, and it's not always going to be easy, and it's not always going to come without sacrifice and consequences and loss.
So here,
that's the thing.
And I agree with that. And our football coach at Holy Innocents told me, he said, he makes about an hour drive every day to come to work. He said, every phone call I got to make, I get it done in that hour.
Yeah.
Instead of just sitting in the car
Cards
listening to
and music.
music.
Yeah. That's why I make my phone calls.
I'm making
Yeah.
my phone calls. I'm getting it done. You got to carve out some kind of time.
Time out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been there when you teaching all these classes. If you don't know, I'm an English teacher by heart.
Yeah.
And then they don't understand that even as a college coach, that grind don't change because you're just not teaching in the class.
Yeah.
You got to check classes. You got guys you checking on academically. You got your own workouts you got to do. You ain't even got to the recruiting part yet.
100%.
You ain't even got to the recruiting part. And if you're not at a high major that can get on the plane anytime you want to, you driving, brother.
100%. And I'm just saying, at the end of the day, and that's the thing that I talk to my son about the most, right? I mean, he's seen me go all different levels, right? At one point in time, it was me and him in a one-bedroom apartment, just me and him, right? He's seen me from that to, I ain't gonna go there, but a much bigger space.
Yeah,
right?
bigger home.
You know what I mean? Big home. Like, so, but at the end of the day, you're gonna have to grind and go get it. Nobody's gonna give it to you, and it's not gonna be fair. It's not gonna be easy. You're gonna experience a loss along the way to success. You're gonna experience loss, right? There are some things that are gonna drop off. So like, and I understand it. Like, I have a relationship at home that I have to cultivate and try to deal with. Like, I get that, right? I have a kid that sits at home that I love just as much as my son, that is not a basketball player. He plays, but he's playing for fun and to enjoy the game. He's not in the competitive basketball. I have to foster and nurture that relationship too.
And going back, we talked about it. We talked about it at the clinic. They had a question that said, "How do you balance family
as best you can?"
As best you can. And all three college coaches talked about as best you can. The only thing they can say is, hopefully, the significant other likes basketball, understands one of the two, but. You've got to balance this thing. It's a balancing act every day.
If the person that you're in a relationship with doesn't see it as a win when you change somebody's life, right, through coaching or through basketball, then it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
And we can't sit here and tell you there's a blueprint. You got to do this. You got to do this. But I guarantee you there are guys who pack kids in their car and went places.
Oh, yeah.
Coaches all over this state. I mean, you come at SEBA camp.
It's a lot of kids who owe me some Uber ride.
At SEBA camp, Rabin Gap they brought the whole doggone bus.
Hey, man,
Really?
Yeah, they brought the whole bus up there.
There were parents that dropped their kids off with me this summer that never had to worry about anything.
Right.
Yeah.
They didn't have to worry about what their kid was gonna eat, right? And their kid ate what I ate. So if I took DeJuan to go get hibachi that day, guess who else got to go watch their food get cooked in front, right? It was the kid that I had with me.
You a good coach, right? I'm 4 for 4 specialist.
It was. I mean,
4 for 4 all day.
You know what I mean? But
I guess he did move on up,
you know,
right?
You hiring?
Hey, look,
You got a 17-year team?
Hey, coach, don't. Hey, don't.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Don't play with me, Bryce.
I'm just kidding.
But look, I mean, I was driving 2.5 hours to go get a kid each way. Right, this summer, because I wanted to see him succeed. I didn't have to. And guess who took a L because I was doing that? I got a wife and kid at home.
Yeah. You don't take a L.
And for those 2 hours when I drove ahead of the turn, I'm talking about outside of playing games, when I made that drive to go get that kid 2.5 hours and then came back, we had a tournament. Yeah. So guess who didn't see me at all that weekend? Do you want to be successful? Do you want to compete, or do you not?
Right.
At some point, that the wins and the losses come with loss sometimes, and that's just what you got to do, because we do it because we love it, because we believe in it, and that's just all it is. And
but to get back to it, we just don't rely on somebody else to do your job. 100%. Coaches to get colleges out there. Network, build relationships, because sometimes it could be another college coach that tells the other college coach, you need to get in that gym. he not good enough for me.
Yeah, I'll send him
But
along.
you need to be on it.
Yeah, you should get on. Yeah.
I mean, that has happened a lot.
It has.
So every college coach that came and spoke Friday gave out their cell number.
Yeah.
That's all. I mean,
Best believe I locked him in. Hey, fellas, I want everybody to tune in after our show, right? You won't be able to stay on this link. I want to call it out because we got a couple text messages, right? There's a different live link on SUV TV for Lab Work. Lab Work Episode 2, featuring Southwest DeKalb superstar Eugene Brown. Is that fair for me to call him a superstar? I thought it was. Even though with the injury, I thought it was.
before the injury, he was. So
Yeah, before the injury, it changed. Yeah, true.
Southwest DeKalb superstar Eugene Brown on this next episode of Lab Work starting at 5 p.m. Right after us, immediately following us. A great show with Daryl.
Great show.
Berry,
Man, I checked the first one out,
it
and
was amazing. He's done a great
the
job.
relationship he's able to build in that time.
Yeah.
The first one was with Caleb Murphy, and
For sure.
it went from relationship to film room to on the court. I mean, you're talking about another guy from here,
from where y'all
who started from the grind, Tucker High School.
Yeah, from where
then getting to the college level as a college coach. That's now giving back to these kids and helping them develop. Daryl's a great guy.
Shout out to SUV TV bringing us all the original content, man. Nobody else. Like, our state leads basketball in so many different ways.
It does.
And leads sports in so many different ways. Having SUV TV is just another way that we leading forward with everything. We out in front. So great original content there. Next up is NCAA. NCAA. Listen, I feel like NCAA is in the news so often. They make so many mistakes. This is going to be a weekly segment. We're going to do this every week that they're going to put their foot in their mouth about something.
So they tried to retract one and change it, like we talked about a little bit earlier.
Yeah, we got another live period for April because they finally understand that, hey, maybe we don't know what we're doing. And
Yeah.
our camp
Basically,
sucks.
I really wish they would have gave that one in July, though.
Yeah, I think
I
it needs to
should've
be
gave it
July.
in July
I think we need
I
two
do
in
too.
July.
But
I do too.
That's just me. There's some coaches out there that feel the high school shouldn't be involved at all. I mean, I saw a tweet the other day that like, man, they just need to go back to the old way. I think there has to be a balance.
I think the team, the top, you know how I
we
feel
are
about
not-
that top 100 count. Like, you cannot get 100 kids in Georgia.
Georgia
You
can't
can't
do
do that. But the
hard
team
to get-
camp,
it's hard to get 100.
I really enjoyed the team camp
Team camp
because
was
you
good.
had
Yeah.
teams from all over.
And that energy.
And the energy, yeah.
Oh, man.
I think that would be good if we keep that live period and whatnot.
So, in NCAA news, a bill was proposed and passed that is a pay-for-play bill that has caused all kinds of conversation outside of what the bill is actually doing. So let me give some facts real quick, and then we'll get into it. The bill actually essentially says that a player can now benefit from endorsement deals or their likeness.
Yeah.
That they are allowed to make money in California. Only in the state of California, this bill has passed. South Carolina has quickly put a bill to respond to that, put a bill on the table, one of their own that would do the same. That says, hey, you can get paid off of your likeness. Before I say what I say, fellas, I'll open it up to you guys. What do you think?
So I'm going to pick a joke first, but that means that NCAA game ain't coming back. They can make money off that likeness. Forget it. You better keep playing that NCAA live or whatever it was.
Yeah, we're not getting another
You're not getting
NCAA. And I was fire at that game. On the basketball, you're not
Man,
beating
I used
me.
to go to football. but
Fire.
anyway.
I was thinking about that. Like, what if you play with Zion?
I'm gonna say if you're a certain level of like student athlete, I think you should get compensated for that. Like Zion or Tim Tebow, who was saying that he didn't feel like he should have got paid. He was one of the biggest.
Oh, yeah.
I mean
But
something.
it's not just those guys. Like, what was it?
But there's a lot of-
UMBC. They win the NCAA tournament. I
2
mean,
years ago,
Virginia
yeah.
talked about them. They raised the banner up
Yeah.
the other day. So all that money, those kids, if there was some likeness that they should be getting, if there's a jersey that's being sold, it's not just the Zions. It's whoever the kid's name on that
True.
team is. Now that we talking about Kennesaw State, it's for when Brandon Stroud and those guys.
Young
get to Kennesaw
Blood,
State,
Casey
Youngblood,
Jennings,
you know?
yeah.
So we have the Tim Tebow comments. I would love for our fans to be able to listen to that. Are we able to play that? Are we able to play back what Tim Tebow said on First Take. He was gracious enough to be on. Okay, got you. We'll go through. Tim Tebow essentially said, and please go back and listen to this. Essentially, and I'll paraphrase, that it is a slippery slope to begin to pay players, and it turns college football into the NFL, and it turns it from a team sport to a me sport, and that there are so many people who enjoy college football, and it's because it is pure in the way that it is played today, and that he didn't like guys being selfish, and he didn't think that college athletes should be paid.
Is there such a thing as pure?
Where's Tim Tebow from again?
Florida.
I'm going to say
he
this.
from Florida?
I thought he was.
I think he is.
He is from Jacksonville, Florida.
Jacksonville,
Tim Tebow
Florida.
grew up on 44 acres in Jacksonville, Florida.
Well, that's why
I'm just going to say that. He grew up on 44 acres in Jacksonville, Florida.
So him not making any money didn't
Doesn't
change
matter.
anything.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
never mind.
Tim
That's all I'll let y'all talk then.
and I want to say something first, too, to the Tim Tebow apologists who are quickly coming to cradle him and burp him after his comments because, oh, you can't say anything today, and people are trying to cancel Tim Tebow, and he should be able to have his opinion, and why are you attacking it? Hey, look, man, if Tim Tebow is a big enough man to come on TV and to call people selfish for making money off of their own, let's get this right, their own likeness, right? So I want to make sure that we get this, let's understand this correctly first. Number one, nobody is handing out scholarships to kids who can't play. If you ain't put in the work and if you're not talented enough, they're not doing charity work.
No.
None of these universities is doing charity work. If they were, DeJuan Allen would already have a scholarship as an player. Let's keep that 100, right? They're not doing charity work. So if you're not good enough, you're not getting a scholarship offer.
True.
The next thing is the bill doesn't propose that colleges come out of pocket at all. That if you got enough hustle, if your brand is big enough that you can market yourself, then they're allowing you to do so and to get paid off your likeness, which is the American way.
No,
right?
I agree.
I have an uncomfortable feeling with people who enjoy free labor.
Right.
And I'll leave that there. You make me very uncomfortable that free labor is so comfortable for you, Tim Tebow. You're an idiot. Here's why. Okay, you play the quarterback position. You're supposed to be a leader.
Yeah.
Shows me why that you didn't make it. If you're not in contact, what did Coach say? What did Coach say? What did Coach say? Coach Amir said when he came on, he said that he knew exactly where Kennesaw State was when he asked them, a player on his team, for another player's phone number, and that player didn't have it in his phone. You mean you ain't got your teammate's number in your phone? That was an automatic thing to him that said, okay, I know where I got to take this program because we ain't right. That shouldn't happen. Tim Tebow, if you don't understand that another player, his mom is sitting at home with candles burning because they don't have lights on in the house, and that little piece of money that he could get from Adidas or from Nike or whatever from his likeness or the couple of jerseys that got sold could help his mom in that situation, then you're an idiot and you're not fit to lead. Nobody's following you if you can't understand and help minister the felt needs of the human beings who are up under you at that particular point in time. I'm going to give you another story. Kevin Ware broke his leg in half.
In half, literally.
In the middle of the NCAA tournament. Everybody watching on TV. I hurried up and picked up the phone. I called Big West. I told West to get in contact with G, and I said, man, where's his people, man? Is his mom okay? Right? Like, can you imagine? They decided, partially due to financial reasons and because that Louisville was expected to win and the Final Four was in Atlanta and she would get to see her son. They were not at the game. What if finances were not a part of the issue? And I'm not going to say they didn't have it, right? But Kevin played for a program, a basketball program, that made $50 million profit that season. $50 million. She had to find out what was going on with her baby through phone calls. You think she didn't want to be there? She's watching him get hurt. You think she didn't think his dad didn't want to be there? His sister didn't want to be there? Tim Tebow, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. You're the biggest kind of idiot. And here's the difference for the apologists. You're so used to disenfranchised people not telling you that you're an idiot. You don't have to hear those crying voices. Fam, you ain't no more of a missionary than me, dog. I was at Haiti right after the quake. Helping people put up tents, dog. That ain't nothing new. But I definitely understand that there are people who are less fortunate than me, sir. And if you do that kind of work, you should too. And you should. I hate when people try to make everybody that's out to get the dollars that they've earned to be selfish and materialistic. No, bro. They trying to survive.
I hear you. And I'm not against what you're saying. But does he know any better? If you're telling me he grew up on a 44 acre, he grew up on 44 acres, and I understand he may have played with whoever he played with at Florida, in Denver in the NFL, or whoever else he played with. We all know there's a disconnect. There's pockets of teammates. Then he hasn't grasped the understanding of servant leadership.
I'm cool with that. Then shut up. This conversation doesn't concern you.
Right.
But
You're not the guy to talk about it because you don't need it.
And I understand that. But just like you're calling him idiot, then we got to call when Stephen A. says something stupid, and he's an idiot.
That's true.
I would.
Yeah.
I'm want to keep it real.
If he said something stupid, I'm not. Hey, look, man. Hey, look. This is dog. Anybody can get it from where I sit. Like, and if I say something stupid, sure. But this is my.
They already came in.
Look, this is my. And that's my whole point, Coach.
They coming.
If you are big enough and bold enough to come and say it, then be big enough and bold enough for somebody to call you an idiot and stand up to it. Tim Tebow don't need you to burp him on national TV. Why are you coming to run to his defense and saying there's people saying stuff about him is disrespectful? He went to name calling first by calling people selfish. Period. Mm-hmm. So to me, it was open season after that. If he man enough to get on First Take, prime time and say that, then he should be able to stand up for what he said and either explain what he said or come back and say, hey, man, I didn't realize that what I said sounded so flagrant. My bad. Be a man.
Until we as a people, and I mean everyone, can honestly put ourselves in someone else's shoes, regardless of race, ethnicity, gender, religion, then we gonna this same cycle gonna keep going over and over and over and over again.
Hey, dog, Coach, I'll give you one example. I say that to my son all the time. Hey, Dewan ain't never, he don't know nothing about no money problems.
Yeah.
Dewan ain't never had to eat no sugar sandwich. His daddy
Syrup
did.
Sandwich, I know, bro.
Spam.
His dad, hey, I know.
Vienna sauce.
Hold on, I know have you fed him noodles?
Yeah,
I know you gave him
for fun, yes. He eats it, but like Dewan don't eat bologna.
Fried bologna.
Hey,
how about a grilled cheese sandwich?
Ain't nothing wrong with fried bologna sandwich.
Exactly. Some syrup.
I'm gonna tell you how my kids got it, right? When we go in to order pizza, nobody even eats the same type of pizza at my house. They don't eat the same type of cereal. They know nothing about nothing when it comes to struggle.
So they don't know about
frosted flakes, and you gonna like these frosted flakes.
They don't know about the Little Caesars $5.
But I do always tell Dewan, hey man, don't talk about that man like that. Don't judge this kid that way. They don't have the support system that you have. They didn't grow up like you grew up. You can't look down at them like that. Everybody's a product of their environment just like you are.
Like you. Yeah.
Right? So you can't judge people. You can't talk about, you don't understand their situation. Go make friends with that kid. Try to understand where he's coming from and be there to help him be a good friend. Mm-hmm. You can't just look down at people, man. And that's, if you consider yourself a leader, then you got to
I don't even think it's just looking down. He's even looking up like, oh, they don't get it. They're rich. Like, we all have problems.
Yeah.
Whether your bank account has 6, 7 zeros or
I mean, for the simple fact, even on a lower level, like on a grassroots level, like I've had kids that couldn't even get to the gym.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or they clearly didn't have rides, or And this opportunity, can change your life. You playing it from in front of colleges and schools, you can get a scholarship. Some of them couldn't even get there. So I'm like, you know what I mean? So it's that stuff right there. Like, he probably doesn't get.
He doesn't.
He's
Never had to understand what. Last week Dez talked about what if they gave this amount of money to every kid. Remember he talked about that, Andre? Yep. And what that, because I think it ended up after if you have to pay for your own schooling out of it, I think he may have said you had $50,000. Like, for 4 years, that's what you had. But what happens now to that kid that, excuse me, going back to my Atlanta roots, that's in Bowen Homes, who $50,000 for 4 years for their family is life-changing, regardless of whether that kid goes to the NBA or NFL. It's just different. And until, whether it's Tim Tebow, whether it's someone, in the African-American community, whoever it may be, until you can walk in that other person's shoes, we got to stop making blanket comments.
We do. Yeah.
Hey, I think the the NBA Players Association responded to the NCAA in a way.
Now that's where the shots need to come in.
Right, in a way that maybe I couldn't articulate myself as elegantly as they did at the Players Association. And I'm just going to read a couple of sentences. So essentially, the NBA Players Association responded to the NCAA and the certification changes that they're trying to make for player agents. Shout out to Trinity Best while we're here. Trinity is the love of the game, long time listener, the love of the game agent. Trinity, you might be our agent,
man. But you know what? Trinity just got another player. He got Nas from LSU.
Sheesh. Whoa. Hey, they picking the right guy. They pick what I love about Trinity.
He's a grinder.
He a gym rat, dog. Yeah. Like he a gym rat.
Hey,
that's a huge
pickup.
Yeah, that's a huge pickup.
Kind of correlates. It's no instance to see Trinity in the gym with his kid.
Oh, no.
100%.
He'll have his daughter right there with him.
We talk about.
Yeah, he'll have his daughter right there with him.
Making an excuse for why he went in the gym.
Never made an excuse about that, dog. Somebody who goes out and grinds and gets the job done. Trinity, shout out to you, bro. Appreciate the success. He picked up Nas, man.
He told me that yesterday at the camp yesterday.
He went undrafted.
Yeah, at the camp.
At the camp. Yeah. Still grinding.
So the NCAA decided the NBPA wrote a letter to the NCAA basically saying nah. And in their letter, they said, let me read this. They're charging the NCAA with trying to obtain a mechanism to garner access to personal and private information of certified agents and what amounts to subpoena power to embark investigations that are wholly unrelated to protecting the interests of men's basketball student athletes in deciding whether to remain in school or enter the NBA draft. They go on to say, and this is where it gets really good, while we refuse to subject ourselves to these regulations, our biggest concern is that the process itself undermines the ability of student athletes to truly receive the most competent representation when they are testing the waters. By continuing to legislate in a manner that ignores the realities of the world that student athletes with professional prospects live in. The NCAA is only entrenching an ecosystem that cultivates and fosters an atmosphere of distrust among the student athletes whom the NCAA is supposed to protect, thus pushing these kids out of school far before they are ready. There's much more out in there. That is what I rolled up into You're an Idiot.
I don't even think they said everything that needed to be said, right?
Everything that needed to be said. I'm so happy with the NBA and the NBAPA. That sister that they hired to run the NBAPA is not playing around
and
at
to me,
all. She ain't playing.
And to me, that's the biggest difference. Like, when the NFL Players Association can get even come close to the power of the NBA's Players Association, then you'll see change in the NFL.
100%. Michelle Roberts. Sorry, I should mention her name. Black Girl Magic, Michelle Roberts. She getting the job done. Fellas, let's go to commercial real quick, and then we will come back and talk about guys going from prep to the NBA. Goes. Keep it locked. It's love of the game. So, fellas, Core4 has been dropping major announcement after major announcement after major announcement. And if the basketball world has not heard of Core4,
They will.
They will pretty soon. You better be watching out. Somebody help me with this kid's name that they just got. Jimma.
Man, I ain't finna try to pronounce it.
Jimma, what is the last name? Hey, man.
Dude who dunks.
Hey, that dude might be the best dunker.
Yeah, we've seen.
Ever
in game.
Like,
Yeah,
like,
what he's doing in game, that's crazy.
It's not even human, dog. When you
Like,
taking the ball under
You know
your
what?
legs,
We
off,
haven't
like,
seen anybody like that maybe since like Quay Parker. Well, we had Zion,
I think he's better
but
than
like,
Ray. I think he's better than Zion too.
He might be the best dunker I've ever seen.
really.
In game,
As a
game.
dunker, like just as a
he's doing like crazy stuff.
But does that make you ready?
layup line.
Absolutely
not. Hey, I'm just talking about having fun right now. I'm talking
We
about
just having fun.
Yeah, I'm talking about. I'm
Absolutely
talking about
not.
being in Sean's on the radar tip off or at TOC or wherever he's
gonna be at the
and
Big South.
March with March Madness. Hey, dog, y'all gotta put on March Madness and let my boy do his thing in the layup lines, dog. Let me have fun for a minute, dog. Hey, Jimma, if you listening, bro, I want to see off the floor, off the glass, then between the legs.
Tell him throw it off the wall.
Throw it off the
Throw it
wall.
off the wall.
Put your
Hey,
arm
dog.
in the rim, hang on there.
Hey, look, man, I don't know where you was at before, but there's gonna be way more cameras now that you here. So, give us, hey, man, make my Instagram lit, dog. That's all I'm saying. Now let's ask a serious question. In the days of distance learning classes, virtual learning, that may be working for some kids, may not be working for other kids, we have not seen a group of, I mean, Jimma may be the first Georgia kid, I can't call him a Georgia kid, I guess, but a kid here that we get a chance to see try to go from prep to pro.
Yeah, that's.
I can't necessarily say it won't work because I've never seen a kid do it.
I think everything that we see right now is just it's a wait and see.
On a 1 year shot like this.
My thing is,
you know what I mean?
It's cool for them. Like, because they do have him, it's cool for them to tweet out, oh yeah, he's gonna go here and then try to go to the league. That's cool, that's great. But we've seen, a lot of kids some kids we've seen that get drafted, but they usually don't go lottery. They're, you know what I mean? And still, you have to be really good, and physically, sometimes you're just not ready. Like, it's just like that's just the NBA is a different ball game. It's a different level. So
I think where I land with it, and I don't, I've not seen. I think it depends on what the kid wants, and I think based off of how this Jimma kid is moving, I'm more okay with it with him than I am other kids who are looking at it as a way to get to college.
Right.
Jimma is saying that I just want to be a basketball player. And this
is fair.
This is America.
Yeah,
that's
fair.
Like I don't.
You're looking at the whole prep school thing just differently, not just.
Yeah, to me, I don't think we should force kids into a classroom who don't want to be there, and their parents are okay.
Or they're gonna go and leave anyway.
With them not being there, right? To me, that's a parental decision.
Yeah, that's how I look at it.
Your parents should force
that's
you
your
to go to
parents,
school, not me, right? Because we look at kids international that they have been doing this. This is old news for them, right? They don't. Like they decide, hey, you're a basketball player at 12, and that's all they do.
But I mean, with the way that they put it out, it was almost like they saying like the kid is going to be a NBA player,
and
that's not.
That's not what I heard.
I mean, he may well be.
I heard he ain't even playing high school.
He may very well be, but
yeah, I heard he was coming up.
We've seen college kids who were. We thought we're gonna be lottery picks or first round picks go undrafted.
Trayvon
Duval or Nas Reed, who we just talking about.
Nas Reed, yeah.
Like, so yeah, it's cool that they have him. It's great. He does all that stuff in the games and stuff like that. But we know when it comes down to all the draft stuff and all the measurables and can he do this, can he do that? They're gonna pick your game apart, and he may not be you know what I mean? Like, it's harder than that. It's harder than just.
Better be able to dribble, pass, and shoot, or Core4 better be able to deposit those skills and develop those skills into that young man. I can't knock them and say that they can't because I've not watched them in action or seen them develop a player. I just think this whole prep school thing is off to me because for us, it may be new, right? When I talk to the Core4 guys, why can't we do it? IMG does it, or Mount Verde does it, Oak Hill Academy does it, and nobody has a problem with them. Well, let's see.
I think people were, from my research and talking to people, the prep school thing has changed from what it used to be, which was you're going to try to help your academics. You need this for another pathway to get to college. Now it's kind of changed to another opportunity or route to get to the next level.
Yeah.
And
because kids would rather go prep than go JUCO.
My problem is there's just so many that pop up.
Yeah. And go away.
And then in 3 years, they're gone.
You can't act like Lincoln Academy didn't leave.
Ooh, yeah. Yikes. And then they went to North Carolina. They
already.
Yeah. I mean, no, Locke is right, dog. And they had a.
What's the one that was offering on Twitter? That was offering the 3 meals in the pool in the backyard.
They look nice. They look nice.
I would have went down there.
I still got 4 years eligibility left. I'm about to go out there. Shoot.
I mean. That's the only scary part for me. I've not, whether it's Core4, whether it's TSF, whether it was Lincoln, I have yet to see kid. Middle Georgia Prep is probably the one that I'm more comfortable with than anybody else. At least you've seen kids.
He's been out for a minute.
Go through Middle Georgia Prep and go on to the next level.
Yeah.
I've not seen any kid
think
from
about
TSF.
TSF done it.
No, they get into the next level. We're talking about the pro.
I'm talking about the younger kids. I'm talking about like kids that went multiple years for high school and then left and went to the next level.
This is the year.
I know they had the kid that went to Tennessee State, but I'm talking about not just 1 year stop and go guys.
But I think this is now what we should see it, right? This is the first time. This will be the time they've had kids there multiple years, right?
Yeah. Like it's like one of the first years.
Yeah. And that's all I want to say.
I think they do a good job with their kids, like trying to get them better.
I look at
here's what I think I'll say. There were only people playing in the NBA Academy was TSF.
That's it. That's all they could. I mean, who else could play in it though?
Okay, but that was.
It was only open to them, right?
That's a big event though.
Yeah.
I'm still saying I don't know. I don't know.
Is it bigger?
I'm not sold on that.
I'm not sold on that either.
I'm not sold on
is
that.
it bigger than playing in a live period event where you can go get offers?
No.
I saw just as many college coaches there.
I heard as many coaches.
I was there.
I didn't see just as many offers though.
Well, maybe they weren't good enough.
Well,
But, I mean, they got.
but
I'm with you, Bryce. I ain't buying it yet.
Bryce,
I
you
ain't
may
buying
have
it
sent
yet.
me this offer because
I ain't buying it
it was, but one Georgia team there.
Yeah,
You got to
right.
think all the scouting service, the dudes that tweet me, Sean and stuff, we weren't there.
Hey.
So you're not gonna see maybe the
I saw
tweets.
who was there.
You're
It
not-
wasn't a lot of
It wasn't.
southeastern team. It was
Yeah.
a lot of West Coast.
Yeah,
teams.
and that's why you're
Because
not
they
gonna see
get
those
more
tweets.
international
So
players.
when it comes to TSF, you know what's gonna do it for me. I want to see what happens to the kid from Milton, the Christian Wright kid.
He's gonna be
wanna
fine,
see
though.
what happens. He just reclassed again, didn't he?
He's gonna be straight. He already got offers.
So I'm not knocking him for that.
He
I'm
said
not
again.
knocking him for that. Yeah, I mean, okay. All right, I ain't shitting on that kid. I'm not knocking him for that.
That's Eric Snow.
I'm saying him.
Oh.
I'm saying that kid and the Matt Davis kid, right? The-
Matt Davis can play.
Yeah, Matt Davis
come on.
nice. Yeah,
I
he's
want to
nice.
see what happens.
Matt Davis in the
Right.
right college system will be fine.
I think he will, but we
what do
gotta
you mean
see.
you want to see
I'm-
what happens? Are you measuring them from going to college or are you going to the pros?
I'm measuring them from going to college because
They-
that's
they-
what
they
those
put-
kids
they
came
put
to
kid-
do,
They
right?
put
He's
kids
gonna
in
go to
college,
college.
though. They're going to put them in
No
college.
doubt.
We can say that they're going to. I'm saying that I haven't seen them do it with kids that came in that young. I want to
I
see.
got you.
I have not seen that Christian Wright kid get any
I'm pretty
offer
sure they're
that
gonna-
he wouldn't have got without them.
That's true.
I've not seen that yet. So
Fair enough.
I'm not saying that they can't do it. I'm not saying that they won't do it. I'm saying that I'm watching that kid
I mean,
as
they
the
sh-
litmus test to
They
show
should
me what
with-
it is that you're
with
about.
all of the stuff that they offer in the
Should.
facilities. They
They
should.
do. You should.
I think they will.
You should. Like, I mean, hey, we know they don't have Bruce starting for the last few years, but hey, I've not seen them be a
He's
part
not
of
in-
somebody.
he's not in
See,
actual.
I think
He's
that's
not in
a
actual
different-
school though.
Like their AAU stuff is different.
Yeah,
From that
he's just an
prep
AAU
stuff.
player. Yeah.
I mean, but is it to be expected that kids will matriculate from one to the other?
he
that's
doesn't.
what I'm saying.
He
I don't
doesn't
know.
need to though. He doesn't have to.
I agree with you. I don't think he does either, but is he?
I don't.
I'm just asking questions, dog. I'm not pretending to know. I'm just asking
Like
questions.
my thing
And
is,
it-
if you have offers already, like some of the kids we just named,
Yeah.
what's the point of going to?
same thing. I mean, because Core4 does the
Well,
same thing. They
I
got
think-
AAU. Are they taking those kids, and those kids are gonna go to?
I think
Core4?
with
Like,
that
what
though,
happens?
you just a lot of kids maybe just want to focus. You know, of course
Yeah,
you
you
do the
just wanna
classwork,
focus on
but you want to
basketball.
spend more time, hooping. But like I say, I'm not finna be a senior, leave my senior year in high school.
Yeah,
The-
it's nothing like high school basketball.
It's nothing like
Yeah.
that.
100%. Man, let's get to some rapid fire topics, man. A lot of kids got offers, and a lot of kids committed.
Committed.
Man, just want to shout out to a couple kids that committed. Huff, I think you got a good list. Let's
Oh
throw some of
man,
those
I
kids.
mean, just what 3 days ago, Caleb Bird, now from Newton County.
Yep.
Yeah,
went to
that
Georgia
was
Southern. I think they feel he can be the next in line of the good guards they've had down
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Great fit.
We talked a little bit about Kennesaw State and
Yeah.
what they've done.
Top 20 recruiting class in the
18,
country. I got
18.
season tickets early, dog. Remember who bought in?
So I know they'll have a bunch of people from East Coweta at their games
Oh,
the next
yeah.
few years with Youngblood and Stroud. Tenari Lane, I think about 2-3 weeks ago, committed to Winthrop. Obviously, Caleb Murphy from Grayson. He committed to South Florida.
Look, I was shocked at that, but I think
I
that is
wasn't.
incredible.
That's a
That
great
was,
fit.
that was,
It's a
that was
great fit.
perfect. That's
I think it's a great
perfect
fit.
for him.
I think it
go,
is
if
too.
you go back to lab work, he talked about how long they had been in there talking to him.
Yeah. I thought it
Larry
was a great
Dixon,
fit.
shout out to you, Larry Dixon.
I
I
thought
think
it was
that's
a great fit.
I think that's the perfect fit for him as far as the way he plays and
Yeah.
the conference, and
I think he's going to get a chance to play early.
I
Yeah,
think that
most
was
definitely.
Yeah,
Most
I
definitely.
think that's a perfect
And
fit.
they came in last year and they got Jameer Chapman.
Yeah.
So it was nothing new
They-
for them to go in and
They
get somebody.
literally been getting Georgia kids because before Jameer, they got Rayshawn Williams out of Calhoun County.
They got the kid from
Yep.
the kid from Westlake too, the big boy. Can't remember his name. 6'10" dude. A couple years ago.
Yeah. I
Michael
thought it was a
Dirt.
great
Yeah,
pick.
yeah,
Yeah.
Michael Dirt. Got
Yeah,
Michael
he's
Dirt
there
yeah.
too.
Then we got to talk about, Sion James Lanier.
Yep.
Ron Hunter says, I might have left the state, but
Still,
I'm
he's
still here.
coming. Yeah,
not sure.
that's a great pickup.
So he left
He's
his
a big
he
guard.
left his imprint on the state. So
Out
you
here
know
in
what I
these streets.
Yeah,
Big Colin Granger,
Yep.
Ohio.
Man, that's great for him.
I mean, what we're noticing,
He's gonna go eat
what
on
we
that
all said is that the commitments we've seen so far,
All
guys
throughout.
have went to the right
fit.
place, right fit, right level. Like that matters. I think there are gonna be a few more that come in the next couple of weeks. But
I think Colin Granger, especially a kid that could have went to a bigger school if he chose to. Like
He probably coulda,
6'9",
yeah.
big body kid that can shoot the ball. Like, but man,
I think he chose
he's
the- I
gonna
think
look
he-
good. Man,
I think
that's
he
a
chose the
great
right
fit.
fit, yeah.
He went to school. He gonna have a chance playing the NCAA tournament and do his thing. Yeah.
so. What is that saying right now? Like
Kids are getting smarter. Parents are getting smarter.
they're getting educated. I like.
Well,
it.
I mean, like
Yeah.
from when I have conversations, sometimes it kind of shows that yes, you could play high major, but sometimes you're gonna have to. If you commit to those schools, sometimes you have to worry about being recruited over.
Getting recruited over.
I told.
And if you go to a mid-major school, sometimes you can
That may
just
not. Yeah,
you don't have to worry about that. You can go in and just feel comfortable.
Bryce,
sometimes.
you're exactly right. I told someone that in the next 2 years, they have a possibility of a high major coming in and offering them a scholarship. I said, do you want to be a guy that gets recruited over maybe or sit 2 or 3 years? Or do you want to come in, have the opportunity to play right away, get better, and who knows what the sky can hold
Right.
after that? Nobody. I mean, go back to the story of Jay Morant at Murray State
Yep.
and how he got found.
And,
True.
and not for nothing, go somewhere where you can have fun on campus.
Oh yeah.
College
you
is
gotta
supposed
have
to be fun.
Yeah.
Like, go somewhere where you're going to enjoy being there, too, man.
Meet good people.
Let's go.
Hopefully, we didn't miss anybody, but if we did,
Well, we gotta say
apologize.
Casey Jennings. He went.
Yeah,
he
yeah,
signed.
yeah.
He signed to Kennesaw State too.
For sure. Let's go fast break, y'all. I want y'all to tell me when I say this, the first thing that pops into your head when I say this. For the next few topics. LeBron denied ownership of Taco Tuesday.
Why? That's what I like. You've been blasting this thing, Taco Tuesday, everywhere. Like, why you denying it, bro? Why you denying
I would much rather hear you say it than Hillary.
it? Like, why is he denying this?
Okay. Yeah.
So my mind is why.
Yeah.
Mine, I didn't know he got denied.
I mean, I didn't think he was gonna be able to get Taco Tuesday. We've been saying Taco Tuesday for a long time. Can I get
True.
Tequila Tuesdays though?
So wait a minute. So we're saying.
Can I apply?
So wait a minute. You were saying like why he got denied, or
No, I'm just asking what popped into y'all head. The first thing
I
popped
really
into my
didn't
head
care.
was
Yeah.
I need to apply for Tequila Tuesdays
I'm starting
instead
to
of Taco
get back
Tuesday.
right for
they
Vegas.
still saying, well, why? Like, why did you think that was about to happen, bro?
Right. Yeah. True. Michael Jordan sells a portion of the Hornets. He keeps majority ownership and keeps control of the team, but he does sell a significant portion to two investors from New York.
Hopefully, he's letting them run it.
I say,
Yeah,
who's,
I just-
who's the GM of the,
Hope
the
he let
bottom
him pick the
cast?
players.
Remember,
I mean, he gave
he picked.
Marvin Williams money.
I say he had Marvin Williams. He picked Michael Kidd Gilchrist over Harrison Barnes, who at the time Harrison Barnes was like that deal.
But
He's
but
had
you know
some
what?
questionable like.
But you know what? Appreciate you, Mike. Kobe Simmons, Charlotte Hornets.
Oh, is that where he
Yeah,
is?
that's where he at. That's where he at.
Hey!
That's what's up. That's what's up there.
Shout out to Kobe. Hey, Mike Scott caught on camera knocking out fans at a football game.
Man, them Philadelphia fans are ruthless.
Yeah, Philly's
Hey,
That's
wild.
that's my thought.
Hey, Bryce, if not for nothing, he was wearing a Redskins jersey while he was knocking them out.
HTTR. Even though we just lost to the Cowboys, we trash again. It's really hard being a Redskins fan. Like, we were beating the Eagles last week, like, what, 21-0 halftime. I come back and look. I'm like, what is going on? Like,
So now you're 0-2?
huh?
Y'all 0-2 now?
Yeah, we just lost to the Cowboys.
Man,
And
I
guess
can't
what?
talk- I can't
I had
talk.
a
We
bet.
might be-
I had a bet with somebody that I was gonna wear a Cowboys jersey on the show if we lost.
Hey, tune in on September 29th.
He gonna be in a Zeke Elliott jersey.
Hey,
The Cowboys, and I hate people from DC who like the Cowboys.
Man, y'all was just
hate
struggling.
that.
The Wizards, the
Yeah, that's right.
Nationals.
Like, we're just bad, man.
Yeah.
hey, man.
At least you admitted it.
I think it's from top.
Hey, y'all got the wrong dude living in that big White House up there. And
It's time before that today.
hey, so the Dennis Rodman 30 for 30 series.
That was
fellas,
good.
How
man.
much? My question is, how much would it cost for one of you guys to wear a wedding dress in full makeup? How much they gotta pay you?
No.
How much I gotta pay me?
How much they gotta pay you?
I don't feel
What's the
comfortable. I don't feel
cost?
comfortable saying that
What's
on.
What's the
You ain't got
What's the number?
No, bro.
Everything,
number?
you can't have a number.
Yeah,
for
you can't put a
everything.
number.
Sell your
It's
soul.
so yeah.
Sell your soul.
No, I can't do that there.
Fam,
Nah, bro.
10 million.
Nah.
Shit. Hold on. I'm so.
We're talking about on
Hey.
we're talking about like on
What?
Wedding dress,
Hey.
makeup, walking out,
Hey, check
walking
this
down
out.
Peachtree.
Look.
And heels.
Look.
$10 million?
Walking down Midtown.
Hey, look,
Walking down Midtown.
For $10 million.
I mean, that's what they do.
I'm gonna
Hey,
get
bro.
the girl to get the dress for you.
Hey,
Give
bro,
me
look,
that.
look. Hey, let me break this down to you. Number one, I can fight. That's hey, it's been a minute, but these hands work. That's number one.
No pause.
Number two, I am 100% comfortable in my manhood,
Them
dog.
paws not gonna work till you kick them shoes off. And by that time, they might already
Hey,
You gotta fling the
They might
things
already
off.
Hey, bro. Hey, look.
What's the name wear a dress to do? What's the dude with music?
Young Thug.
Yeah, Thug
hey,
wear
look.
music. He wear dress sometimes,
Hey,
don't he?
that's that new Atlanta though.
That's when they ain't old Atlanta.
Yeah.
Hey, that new tape go hard though. Huh?
Hey, old Atlanta was in full effect Friday night at
Yeah.
Funk Fest.
Hey, for 10 million, no cap. Hey, bro.
He said-
Wig, everything for 10 mil, dog. My manhood is secure.
Hey,
dog.
bro, like I say,
Man,
man,
good.
hey,
now what you gonna
10
say when
million
somebody,
ain't
what you
enough.
gonna say when somebody come at you and say, Mondre, you're an idiot for saying that.
Idiot for wearing them.
I'm-
Idiot for wearing them heels.
Hey, check my Wells Fargo, bro. What are we talking about? Like, I'm straight. Like, I'm straight. Like, again, I know who I am. I'm secure in my manhood. It is what it is. And what you gonna do to me?
Marjorie, where you getting the dress from?
I don't care where it
David's
came.
Bridal?
Hey, dog. I
They gonna
only
get it from
I only
H&M or
care
something.
about the wire transfer, my guy. Like, I don't even. I don't care what they pulling out. You can talk about me all you want. You just gonna say, man, he looked ridiculous in that Bentley with a dress on. Team USA comes in 7th place, fellas. Whose fault is it? Whose fault? Lock, go.
I'm just be honest, man. I was in Vegas, so I ain't watching none of that. So
Whose fault is it?
Huff, whose fault?
Let's be serious, bro. Let's Kemba Walker, Donovan Mitchell, Joe Harris, Harrison Barnes, Miles Turner. Let's be serious.
Yeah, that wasn't enough.
no, that wasn't enough.
The international players have gotten so much
Yeah,
better.
international players.
Let
are
me tell you,
good.
group
right there
international
wasn't
players
gonna
in the
win.
NBA.
Should
That group
have
right there
Carmelo
wasn't gonna
played?
win.
Should have
I'm
Carmelo
just
played?
tired- I'm just tired of Carmelo, so I
Absolutely,
don't-
he should have played.
He should have played.
He wasn't gonna make them win.
It would have been better.
Carmelo
They
would
would've
have
been
helped him
seven.
out, bro. I've been watching his workouts with
Yeah.
what's the dude in New York you working about?
With Brick.
Yeah, I've been watching his workouts with him.
Man, y'all gonna stop
Hey, look.
riding Carmelo, man.
I'm not riding him.
take some.
Carmelo
I
could have
didn't
helped
think
him
you should have
out.
played. You better than 7th place.
I'm gonna tell you something, man. Everything that's wrong with
You know the last the last time this happened since 2006, right? Who's on that picture right there?
We're not gonna talk about it.
No,
They were
let's don't
young.
talk about it.
They were young.
I know LeBron's on that picture, but that does say Carmelo, right?
It does. They were young.
And ISO Joe.
They were young.
The fact that Elton Brand made a USA, never mind.
Hey, look. Hey, so I'm gonna tell you who I'm blaming it on, though. It's all David Robinson's fault. It's all David Robinson's fault. Everything that's wrong with basketball.
1988?
Yes. Hey, look. David Robinson, Hersey Hawkins, they had a squad. And you go lose to Russia.
Yeah,
That was
I
the
remember
first
that.
time that we lost in the Olympics where we didn't have an excuse. The time before that, we had excuses about did we get cheated? Did
But
we-
when they in college
That
or
the
they
first
was in
time.
the
They
NBA?
were college.
They was in
They were
college. They was college guys.
And they got lost. And they lost. I mean, they lost to a good team. They didn't lose to no
Kirk
bums.
Kirk
playing
Howard
against-
was on that
Yeah.
2016, though.
Yeah. Sheesh.
On the USA team?
But it's all David. It's all David Roberts' fault. Guess who's on the committee that took away the live period and also proposed the sanctions for player agents? David Robinson.
Man, you just gave me a mic drop.
And I'm blaming it on him because I don't like his haircut. But I'm just saying he's involved.
old,
Hey, he still got that demolition haircut.
He got that demolition man
Hey,
haircut.
didn't Rodman tell him he thought they were soft?
Hey, hey, was he wrong? It's not wrong. David Robinson, I'm blaming it on you, dog. We finished in 7th place. It's all your fault. You started this trend. But no, in reality, in basketball talk, international players, you talking about a bunch of NBA dudes.
Yeah, they've all
Not
helped
losing
us,
to a
yeah.
bunch of dudes that you don't know. They talking about a bunch of NBA dudes. And they don't have a lot of time to get that team
And
together.
this stuff, even if it wasn't the level of like the LeBrons and all the people we're used to, that team just doesn't even seem like a well put together team.
Exactly.
Like
last minute.
Kemba Walker and
But it was because
Donovan Mitchell.
it
like,
was because so many
what?
people
That
said
doesn't
they
even
weren't
make
playing.
And be real though, everything changed for that team once Jason Tatum got hurt. Once all of them dudes
I say, yeah, I
seen Jason
yeah.
Tatum go down,
That was a
I
wrap.
think it hit in their head like,
this
yo,
ain't worth it.
This is not the Olympics. This is the World Championships. I ain't even tripping like that.
Yeah.
I didn't think anybody wanted to risk it after that. I just don't think mentally they were in it after that. I don't want to bring his name up after I say something about an injury. Dang. Derrick Rose becomes the 8th player in NBA history to have 10 signature shoes released, with his newest signature shoe being released. Are y'all copping or not? Locke, you copping?
No.
Huff, copping?
Negative.
Bryce, you copping?
Absolutely not.
And I like Adidas.
No,
but
I
I'm not
mean-
copping
Man, I didn't cop the
those.
Steph Curry.
The last
That don't even
last
matter, bro.
Adidas
Like,
that I actually had were like pro models. Those are actually good shoes, but that was
Man,
before.
where's
Derrick
the
Rose.
answer? Bring the
answer?
Reeboks.
Nah.
Yeah,
Reebok
hey,
answer.
I wear those.
Bring the Reebok pump back.
The question marks.
Oh no.
The question marks.
Hey, we just had a reference to Reebok pumps, the Demolition Man. And, hey, dog,
We
I'm
taking
getting
people
out of
back,
here.
man. We taking people back, man.
I can't with y'all on this show this week, dog. I
You
can't.
started it, man.
So we're not copping. What about the God Sham guys? God Sham guy has a shoe coming out.
Those are Pumas, right?
For the Pumas,
I
yes.
buy those.
Puma has some nice shoes.
I buy those.
You
Yeah,
gonna
Puma-
buy the
Puma
God
Sam
Sham
God.
guys, but you're
I
not
didn't say
gonna
I would
buy the
buy
Derrick
it.
Roses. Have you seen them?
Half the kids gonna be.
Hey, Locke is
playing
saying that 'cause he
and
ain't seen it.
Half the kids gonna be buying the God Sham guys playing them, not knowing
Yeah.
what the move is.
Yeah.
Like, no, man, I'm not buying.
They
They,
ain't
I
seen
just
no
like Pumas.
Providence
If-
tape with God Sham guy with
Yeah.
the wrist taped
They don't
up.
know nothing about
they
that.
have no idea who that is, man. It's a good effort. I mean, it's cool though, but nah, I'm good.
I'm glad that he got a bag. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
I'm not buying the shoes because I personally think that they're ugly. I will buy the Derrick Roses, especially because the Simeon.
But the thing
colorway
about buying
is
these shoes
dope.
like those, where are you gonna wear those? Besides, what you gonna do in those, Mondre? You like?
I'm gonna find some shorts that match, and I'm gonna walk in the gym one time with them on.
So now you
They're
got to find a
not like
whole outfit.
Walker. They're not
so
like
now you gotta
hangout
find a whole
shoes.
outfit.
Those are strictly basketball shoes, and you can't wear those. To
They
the
only
club or
go with
something.
Golden State shorts.
That's like me wearing them those.
Now you like to go to state shorts.
Not
Nah,
on
you
purpose.
can't wear those in Dreos. You can't wear those in
Y'all just
Dreos.
ain't. Hey, y'all just ain't gonna let me support Derrick Rose, are you? Y'all just
Nah,
not.
you can support
Those
them.
hardest
Okay,
though.
that's
Those
fine.
hardest look good. I might buy those.
The hardest are fire.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
hardest are fire. New J's dropping out next month.
They
on
don't
the
look. They
19th.
look okay. They're not
yeah,
bad.
those are fire
They're not
shoes.
bad.
Yeah.
I like the new J's, man.
Yeah.
October 19th, man. Go cop your J's. Might be in line with me.
That's my old stepson.
It might not be in line for those.
October 19th.
Hey, Locke.
Yeah.
South got something to say.
The down south, the South
Oh, yeah.
Georgia evangelist, the South Georgia apologist,
Here you go.
the
Apologies.
South Georgia's
Well.
favorite son.
This is something I just want to get out to the South Georgia players because I know a lot of them on Twitter and they see college coaches coming out and they, probably wondering why college coaches not coming to their schools. And this not a diss to college coaches or everything, but I just know, dude, they're not going past the airport. Or, they might, they'll come down to Macon, but unless you are mid-major plus, dude, you have to, unless you, I'm sorry, if you're not a mid-major plus, you have to keep attending events in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm sorry, you got to tell your high school coach, we have to get a game, even if it's just one game, playing one of your events, Under Armour, Sean event, you have to come up here to Atlanta because a lot of times coaches are not going to make that drive. Big-time player that, I talked about for 2 years, Joshua Lucane. It took for him to make the playoffs and go to the state championship for him to get fully recruited.
You're right.
And he's now at Campbell, but Campbell didn't come out, didn't come see him, during the fall workouts or anything like that. A big-time player, Michael Todd Eisler at Westover, he's at Presbyterian. Presbyterian did not come, well, the old staff didn't even come see him before. So it's like, you guys have to keep going to events. Tell your parents, hey, man, they got the money, because I see your parents at the club when I'm down there.
I see him at the trap. I see him at the spots I go to. So
Man,
they,
you seen him at
you
the
have,
copping, though.
yo,
That's crazy.
no, we got a club called the Trap in Albany. It called the Trap, but you have to keep attending events as much as possible. Like it was events this past week, 2 events this past weekend. Hoop Hustlers, Southern Hoop Sport. I was at both events. You know, you have to keep. I'm gonna be out there, so you have to keep attending events, and you have to tell your coaches like, I'm tired of playing locally. You have to get up on that road and play. You know, you have to come to the city. Like this was popping right now. You have to come here. So, players, coaches, if you hear this, man, you gotta come to the city, man, as much as possible. Because unless you a mid-major plus, I don't see Division I coaches making that drive. Now, of course, the JUCOs, some D2s will come, but they're not recruiting this early. They're looking at the transfer list. They got to see what they're coming back. They got coming back. So, guys, just keep hope alive. Like all the guards, you got to just keep grinding out.
Keep grinding.
And so, if you're a player, man, you got to just really be on your parents and your coaches. Like, look, man, Dante Metlock say, I got to come to the city and play. And that doesn't mean transfer because, in my personal opinion, South Georgia players don't do well when they come to Atlanta, Georgia, because it's a different type of basketball.
A lot of people don't do well when they come to Atlanta.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. And I tell unless you come here your 9th grade year, it's hard to come your 11th grade or senior year because now you got the magnifying glass on you, and they're looking at you every night. So, like a kid like Joyful Hawkins who came to Decatur, I hope he really does well because that's a big transfer. Hey, so.
Sheesh.
Hey, we're going to talk about this transfer stuff.
Yeah.
September 29th, we're going to talk about this transfer stuff. Thanks, Lyle. Let's go to, you ain't even know. We're going to put you on game real quick. Hey, Bryce, you want to go first?
I can say what I want to say, right?
Say whatever you want to say, bro. You ain't even know it.
Man, like,
Hey.
I just been,
Hold on, wait. Bryce got that look in his eye right now. Somebody
I'm not
about
gonna
to
say
catch
that's crazy. I'm just, and I'm not gonna
We got
take
4
it
minutes, Bryce.
personal. I'm not gonna be
4 minutes,
personal.
We got
I'm
4
just saying,
minutes. Get it out.
I'm just a little concerned about the number of basketball events that we have here too, and some of them to me seem like
Money grabs.
money grabs. Some of them seem like a waste of time. Some of them are just trash. Some of them to me are hosted or put on by people who can't even hoop or want to be hoopers. To me, like, honestly, I just wish. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be mean. But you can tell, like, a dude got ball player swag. Like, oh yeah, he probably nice. He can hoop. Some of the dudes can't even hoop, bro. So it's like.
Talk that talk, Bryce. Talk that talk.
I'm not even trying to be like that. I just feel like it's too many events.
No, that's real.
And
It is too many events.
Hey,
like
man,
some of this
it's a dope
stuff,
game.
some of the ways to get kids to come in or whatever, and it's like you're calling it certain things, but you're probably not following up with those certain acts, if that makes sense,
I'm with you,
or
100%.
whatever the case may be. So to me, it's just like that's just something I've been feeling for the last couple of weeks. Like it's just a lot of stuff, man. It's like, are you even adding value to what everybody's doing?
Hey, we talked about that, Bryce, off air. Exactly what you're saying. Of why try to go recreate the wheel? Are you adding? Can you come into somebody else's platform and add value to their platform and be a service to a platform that exists that's good?
And I'm not saying that don't start. I'm not saying not to start new things and not start new trends and not do this, not
But
try
what
things.
value are you bringing?
Yeah.
But what value are you bringing? Are you just running somebody low?
Yeah.
Are you wasting our time? Are you doing this just so you can get on camera? Because we see that a lot too.
Yeah.
And it's like, are you doing it so you can be friends with the kids?
Oh yeah, it's a bunch of.
I mean, it's a bunch of
groupies.
reasons,
It's a
but
bunch
to
of
me, it's
groupies.
like,
Groupies
come on,
out here
man.
Just
Like,
want to tag along.
yeah.
Let me go.
Two minutes left. Go
I
ahead.
got one too, so
Go ahead.
Oh, so I know we're doing the you and Noah part. So we're talking about the camps. It's 2 big camps coming up this weekend. The biggest one that I'm excited about is the Elite 80 HBCU camp
Yeah.
at the International Sports Academy in Stone Mountain.
Yep.
That's going to be a huge camp, and I hope kids who wanted to play for HBCUs at that camp this Saturday. That's going to be a huge camp, and then we got prep hoops at Lake Point Sunday.
Did he wearing a dress?
So there's gonna be 2 huge camps where I think coaches need to go find out and see players. And the Elite 8 is sponsored by my dude Chris Cameron, man. The Elite 8 HBCU
Hey, Chris
Camp
Cameron's
Sports.
a good dude, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That's gonna be a
1
good
minute.
camp. It's gonna be a good camp.
1 minute.
Go do your research on Yao Ming.
Nice.
The dude can hoop.
Oh yeah, you
say
sent me
Yao
that clip.
I
You
sent you
me
that clip.
You sent me that clip.
Y'all don't even know how good that dude was.
Cool.
Got his career cut short with
Injuries,
some foot
yeah.
injuries,
Lower
but
leg problems, yeah.
and he was giving Shaq the business. He was dunking on people. He was going behind his back. Like I didn't. Sometimes you gotta look at it after the fact and realize, man, that dude, he gave us something special in that time he was in.
He definitely did. You don't even know it. These names may not mean anything to you if I say Dave Ragone, Stephon LaFleur's. Those names may not, Brian Brom, those names may not ring a bell. It get closer if I say Johnny Unitas, Teddy Bridgewater, Lamar Jackson, right? Those names may get a little closer. The
Lamar Jackson's a fool.
The next NFL quarterback coming out of the University of Louisville is from right here in Columbus, Georgia. His name is Jawan Puma Pass, and you ain't even know it. Kid is an NFL talent right from Carver, Columbus. He's going to go get it done at the next level. Now that he has some stability, our school was not stable, coaching staff and all that stuff. Switched his quarterback coach every single year that he's been there. But now we have a stable staff, a stable group. He's got weapons around him. Kid's an NFL quarterback right out of Columbus, Georgia. You ain't even know it. Fam, that's our time. Hey, go make sure you go watch Lab Work Episode 2 with Eugene Brown, Southwest DeKalb superstar Eugene Brown. Coach Daryl Lubasky. Is going to be a great. I hope I'm pronouncing this guy's name right. LeBerry. My bad. I got him mixed up with Scal.
What Dave Chappelle called him? Jesse. What did he call him on the thing?
Jesse Smollett. Hey man, we out. It's the love of the game, man. Y'all be peace. Juicy.